Okay, I think we're live. If I could get a sound check, that would be awesome. Can you actually hear me? Please and thanks in the chat. That would be awesome. I see Canva Tutorials by Like It or Not is here. Says, hello, hello. Good to see you up and running. Thanks. It's been a couple of months since I've had some time to do one of these live streams. Very excited to do it again. I'm hoping that we can spend a decent amount of time together, but we'll see. Life has a way of getting in the way every now and then. All right, Canva Tutorials by Like It or Not says, I can hear you. That channel title is a mouthful, but there's some SEO value in there, especially at the beginning with Canva Tutorials, so that's great. So as we wait for more people to join us, in case you're unfamiliar with how this works, what I'm here to do is answer your questions, maybe do a live tutorial, do a channel review, maybe help you get a video unstuck that isn't performing as well, that would get a video unstuck that hasn't been performing as well as you would like. It is a mouthful, yes. But that's okay, because a lot of this stuff is generally, more text than spoken, so that can be okay. Anyways, I will not be watching any videos or subscribing to any channels during today's live streams, one of our live stream rules, which are itemized in the description. Some of the reasons for that is I don't want chat to become a bunch of people saying, come subscribe to me. And also, the kind of help that I would love to give you is not one more subscriber. I want to give you the tools, the tactics, the strategies, the plans, the resources to go and get subscribers for the rest of your channel's life. Not just one from one guy sitting here in Vancouver here today, which is where I am. I also won't be watching any videos because of copyright issues, and also I don't want it to monopolize the stream. Watching one video could be 2 hours if it's a very long playthrough, and so that's not very useful for anybody. So for the free channel reviews, we'll go chronologically in chat. That's one of the more popular things I do during these live streams. And so the only way to make it fair is to just first come, first serve. And I cap it at 30 minutes so that I don't spend too long on one channel because people in chat get uppity when I do that. And so if you don't get your request in, I don't have time to get to your channel, or if you would like something a little bit more in-depth, we do have a paid option. It's currently $25 US. That price is subject to change depending on how busy I am. But for that, you would get a 45 to 60 minute dedicated video where I would review your channel, give you plenty of action items throughout. I would obviously include a link in that video to your channel in the description, the info cards, and the end screen. And that would appear here on this channel, so you could go and watch as many times as you want. And it might get you a little exposure as well while you're at it. And I also have some consulting services I do for $25 US an hour as well, if you prefer the one-on-one and you don't want my criticisms to be super public. And so, I've had various people take either of those options, and they've all been satisfied so far, which is fantastic. But that's just for those people who, for whatever reason, I'm not able to get to their request, or they just want something a little bit different. So those are alternative options to this live stream that are available to you. But yeah, so basically, if you have any questions, if you have you want to see something, a tutorial where I show you how to do something, you want me to review your channel, maybe you've got a video that was performing and just hit a wall, and you want it to get unstuck. I can take a look at maybe the SEO on that, give you some pointers, some suggestions. Let's see here. Just an FYI, I'm having a little internet issue, but if I don't chat or answer your questions. Okay, cool. Good to know, Canva. And of course, we'll probably, as the stream progresses, because I only just went live, not everybody's got notifications turned on. Chat can get pretty busy. I would love a channel review. There we go. First channel review request of the day. Let's just jump right into it. So I have a certain methodology when I do this. For a couple of reasons. One, I'm just going to start the clock here in a second, get my clock ready. So, my methodology is I search by your channel name. And part of that is because it's quite common for YouTubers, small and large, to forget that their channel shows up in search results as well. And so they often aren't putting their best foot forward there. So that's a place where I like to begin. And I also like to just kind of do the search. It's, that way we don't have to deal with links in the chat. And also, you get my unvarnished opinion as I am first encountering your channel from search results and then diving in. So that hopefully you can kind of get... get fresh eyes on your channel. I think we spend so long working on our channels, it's a forest for the trees thing, or you're too close to the problem, whatever you want to say, where, you know, you've looked at your thumbnail so many times, you've looked at your banner so many times, and you need somebody who can, you know, maybe give you a fresh take on actually, you know, not thinking about all the work you put into it, but thinking about the impression that it makes. And I see we've got Finance Center is queued up for the next review, so I should start this one so Finance Center doesn't have to wait forever to get there. So I'm starting the clock now. I've copied the channel name. I'm going to go over to YouTube here. Quick note about my YouTube. It might look different from yours for a couple of reasons. One, I do have premium, so I don't have to deal with ads. That's just a personal choice. So it's a monthly fee, but creators still get paid from that. So I'm still supporting creators, but I'm not having to put up with ads. That's nice for me. I'm very fortunate that I'm able to afford that. As well, I have the TUBEBUDDY browser plugin installed, and I have the legend level account, so I'm using that as that's a tool I use every single day, and so I'll be using that in my reviews. And I also like to have mine on dark mode. It's actually more energy efficient. It's just easier on my eyes. I have a little light sensitivity, so let me just get rid of this notification thing here. Someone's saying thank you. Awesome. Okay, so let's search for Canva tutorials by Like It or Not. Now, full disclosure, I've never used Canva, but I know people who do, and they think it's a very good service. And that's one thing I just want to start off by saying right away, is your channel name is lovely in its description. In fact, you'll notice here in my TubeBuddy Search Explorer on the browser plugin here, it is scoring as an excellent. Now, if you want to get TubeBuddy, I do have an affiliate link in the description down below. Most of the browser functions you're going to see today are actually in the free version. They might be a little bit nerfed, as they say. For example, the common video tags here, the free version I think caps it at 3, whereas I have every bloody thing ever because I went for the full Legend thing. I really recommend Legend, even if all you use it for is they have something called Click Magnet, which is amazing. That will analyze your thumbnails. Did I get a new milestone? Oh. I apparently hit 2,300 subscribers at the beginning of August. Cool. Anyways, that and milestones you get in the free version as well. But anyways, Click Magnet analyzes your thumbnails and tells you what works and what doesn't. And it also, Legend Level lets you do A/B testing. And those two are game changers. Well worth the money, in my humble opinion. So anyways, as I was saying, your channel name's fantastic because the channel name describes what you're about in an instant, and so many YouTubers struggle with this. And so just by having that alone, you're off to a fantastic start. I mean, even TubeBuddy says that it's excellent, 89 out of 100. So that is awesome. Let's take a look here at your channel logos, where I often like to begin. It's really good in a lot of ways. I do have some suggestions for slight tweaks. Now, a couple more disclosures here just before I totally dive in. I'm going to be brutally honest. If I'm just here being polite and saying nice things, that's not worthy of your time. I'm trying to give you action items and suggestions. That having been said, I don't expect you to follow my suggestions. It's just something for you to think about. If you do decide to follow them, fantastic. I hope it works for you. And feel free to use all of my ideas. I'm not requiring credit or anything, although feel free. You know, all my ideas are available, and you can use it with my permission. That's the, you know, you can go back to this video and say I had his permission for these ideas. But I don't expect it because this is just one man's opinion, and I may or may not be your target audience. As someone who's never used Canva, I'm probably not your target audience that way. However, I do obviously thumbnail and designs for banners and profiles and things for myself, my 2 channels, so I'm kind of partly the audience. Unlike, say, a hair channel, I'm not the audience at all, or a makeup channel, I am not the audience at all. Here, I'm kind of the audience. So, a couple of things. Some of this is nitpicks, so take it with a grain of salt. The Canva tutorials text, it pops. It's easy to read. It's good. Actually, let me just pop over to chat and see how it shows up there. I can read the Canva in chat very well, not the tutorials part. So that's just because in chat, the logo gets shrunk down like minuscule. And that's fine. Just the fact that I can read Canva in chat is actually kind of impressive. So that's good. You have TubeBuddy Pro. Cool. Yeah, I do recommend a Legend upgrade if you want to improve your CTR. That's a game changer. But Pro is pretty fantastic too. It's got a lot of great features in there, and of course you get all those member perks, which is fantastic. I love those. For example, you get the starter kit with Roberto Blake's starter kit. Hi, Melis Construction. Welcome to the party. And so with every paid plan of TubeBuddy, you get that, and this include like it's got thumbnail templates. Again, Photoshop maybe not your thing because you're Canva, but just tons of cool member perks that I really like, including the mobile app, which I use every single day, probably more than once a day, if I'm being totally honest. I like watching those numbers go up, and sometimes I have a travel channel, so I'll post on the road, I'll edit and upload videos on the road, and sometimes I'll do that just with my phone, and so I need TubeBuddy to do some of that SEO work. And I can do that on the road. Or if I'm on the road and I have an idea and I'm like, oh, would this make a good video? I can do keyword research on my phone and be like, wow, that scores an 18, poor. Maybe that's not worth the huge investment of time. But maybe I have another idea, it scores an 89, excellent, let's say, and I'll be like, I got to make that video now. So it also has a great thing where you can keep track of future topics and keep track of whether you've done them or not. Lots of cool stuff. Anyways, I got a tutorial on that. You can watch that later. We're talking about your channel right now. So the Canva tutorials thing, the background, the dark color behind it, it's not perfectly centered. You've got more space under the word tutorials than you do above the word Canva. So I would either adjust the height of the text or the height of that background sort of banner that you got going behind your profile there so that it centers it just a little bit more. Now that probably seems like a nitpick, but here's why that could be really important. If you are all about graphic design and Canva tutorials, you got to get those details just perfect. Because if it looks okay or close enough, if you're presenting yourself as an expert, whether you call yourself that or not, I mean, given your channel name, I think people would expect you to be a Canva expert with that channel name. So for that, I would think that you got to get those little details just like perfect. And so you got to be a nitpicker, especially on something like that that's a first impression that you make. So it's a tiny little thing, but for people who have OCD or OCD tendencies, I've taken a test, I don't have it, but I have tendencies. Those sorts of things, and also certain graphic design people like, they kind of pull their hair out at little things, which is funny. I have a friend who, if you use the wrong font, you will get a lecture that will last longer than you would expect, let's just say. So anyways, that's fine. The buy like it or not part underneath, that's perfect. Don't need to change that at all. However, above that Canva banner thing, I think what this says is made in Canva. But the font is so small that even looking at it on desktop, and desktop's going to be a lot larger than mobile, so keep that in mind, it's very small. So it's kind of like a flag thing. I would just make that whole thing bigger, almost as big as you can, such that it doesn't quite touch the edges. And if you can increase the font inside of the flag thing as well as much as possible to make it more readable, that might be a good idea. Because I get what you're saying here. You're saying, not only do I do Canva tutorials, I made this in Canva. And that's actually a pretty good approach. I think it's a good sort of endorsement where people can see your skills. I like the color scheme on this. I think the font choice is really well. I mean, not the made in Canva thing because it's so small, and the Canva, that's probably the text they use, the font they use for their logo. So you're probably a little hamstrung there, but the other text choices is fantastic because it's a good, crisp, clear block font that scales well. And that's really important, and a lot of YouTubers struggle to find that. For years, I struggled to find a good one until I learned about Bebis by reading, I think, if you can believe it or not, Scientific American one day when I was flying back from Hawaii. That's a whole other story. But the point is that making it a little bigger so that you've got that and that people can actually see what that is instead of wondering. Because again, if we're talking graphic design, the details, so important. If they're like, wow, that looks kind of cool, but I don't know what that thing is there, I can't read it, that doesn't speak well to the graphic design aspect. Again, I'm being a little harsh, but, polite compliments aren't going to help you very much. So let's take a look here. You got 165 subscribers, so I assume you already have your custom URL. If not, go get it, because there is some positive things to that. A custom URL will look good when you're sharing it, not just on the internet, but in real life as well. So, quick little thing, sidebar. Someone got me some business cards for my channel, Vacation Impossible, but this was long before I had my custom URL. So on the back, we've got my trashy website, my email address, my Twitter, my Facebook, and my Instagram, but no YouTube channel. But the YouTube channel is what I'm all about, because I didn't have that custom URL. So when you don't have a custom URL and you get all those characters after youtube.com/, that doesn't look professional, and I didn't want it printed on a business card. So once I got my 100 subscribers, after joining the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group at facebook.com/group/Small YouTubers Boost, that's, that group helped me learn the things I needed to do to get 100 subscribers. And now I'm out to share it with the world. And now my new business cards here, got these both from Vistaprint. It's got my channel logo, my channel slogan, no vacation is impossible, at Vacation Impossible. And you might not be able to see it too well here, but that's youtube.com/vacation impossible. So if you're wanting to put your URL on a bumper sticker, on a business card, on merch, on whatever it might be, that custom URL is really key. Now, one thing we were talking about for your channel was that Canva tutorials by Like It or Not, that's a mouthful. And so if you could just get that down to Canva tutorials, just for the URL at least, that would be great. Tutorials. Doesn't look like Canva tutorials is taken as a URL. So if you don't have it yet, go claim it and maybe just get that. That would be a hell of a URL to have. youtube.com/Canva tutorials. That would be perfect. I think you couldn't do much better than that. And if you already have one, they do allow you sometimes to change it, but there are some rules around how frequently and what you can change it to. So something to think about. But that's just some thoughts about the custom URL, which is an important milestone at 100 subscribers. So congratulations for crossing 100 subscribers. I know to some people it doesn't sound like much. I languished at 34 subscribers for like a decade before I started taking YouTube seriously. And so I remember I would be going to Portland Retro Gaming Expo and meeting Pat Contry, over 200,000 subscribers. And I was desperately hoping he wouldn't ask if I had a channel, because it was embarrassing for me, from my point of view, to have only 34 subscribers. I remember one time I went to a Lego store with my son, and he's trying to convince the cashier to check out our YouTube channel, which was very sweet and cute. But I'm like, oh my god, we have 34 subscribers. This is embarrassing. Shut up. I didn't actually say that, but I thought it pretty hard. And so now I'm at like 2,300 subscribers on both of my channels, and you know, I don't feel that way anymore. And honestly, it was when I hit 100, I think, that I stopped feeling that way. So I can appreciate how that can be an important number for some people. It's not as easy an accomplishment as some people might think. And you've done that based on 36 videos. I had lots more when I hit that number. So your video to subscriber ratio is better than mine. So that's cool. So let's see your description. Canva tutorials by Like It or Not teaches how to use Canva for free with weekly lessons. If you aren't familiar with Canva, this is really good. In fact, I have very little to criticize here. One suggestion. You'll notice how I paused as I was reading it. Canva tutorials by Like It or Not teaches how. I don't know. Teaches you how? Shows you how? It didn't flow. It felt like there was a noun that was missing there. But teaches how is actually kind of okay too, now that I'm thinking about it. It teaches how to use Canva. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't know that your description, at least in those first two lines, needs much work. So, I mean, so far, your profile picture, very good. I just had some minor things that could be tweaked, I think, relatively easily. But otherwise, you're doing great so far. Let's dive into the channel. I'm just going to pause this video here. As I said, I won't be watching any videos because I don't want copyright issues, and we just don't have the time. So let's see this banner. Okay, made in Canva. And again, this is probably like the made in Canva thing is probably done by Canva, but maybe play with it anyways. I mean, it's, yeah, so certain platforms care differently about how you modify their logo and whether or not you can. So you might want to check into that. But if you can make the text in here a little bigger, it would be easier to read. The banner, I mean, I can read it fine in the banner here on desktop, but on mobile, I don't think I'd be able to. Canva tutorials, weekly videos. I don't know about weekly videos. This is a thing where my opinion often differs from a lot of other people. Like Rob with TUBEBUDDY, for example, I know has and I disagree on this. Respectfully, I like Rob quite a bit. It's just a difference of opinion. But I don't think having an upload schedule in your banner is a good idea. Your banner is supposed to be enticing new audiences that don't know you very well, and I don't know how much a stranger cares about how often you upload, to be completely honest. They want to know what value they can get out of your channel and stuff like that. They want to know what you're about. They want to be enticed. They want to be sold. Think of it like a date or selling a used car or whatever. But the fact that you post weekly videos, I don't know that that's important enough, frankly, to make it to your banner. And so I think that's something to consider. Like, if it's real quick tutorials or you do live streams or something like that, maybe you want to mention that so that people know that if it's a quick tutorial, I don't have to sit through 20 minutes of, hi, welcome to my channel, click on my Patreon, etc., etc., you know, all the plugs and, you know, click on the link and you know, like and subscribe. They don't have to sit through 20 minutes of that before they get the value. So if you have shorter videos, that's one way that they can assume you get the value. Just right to it. Alternatively, if you do live streams like I do, where people can ask their questions, that can be a real value to people too, knowing that there's someone out there that they can get a human to respond to without trying to contact a giant company that will probably ignore them. Things like that, they add value. So that's just something to consider. If you create some templates that people can download, I don't know if that's a thing you do or not. And again, if you don't do these things and you want to, feel free to take these ideas. I'm offering them freely to you. But you could say, like, also you get free downloads. Maybe not of Canva, but free templates, you could say. Put something like that in your banner. Those are all value adds. I just don't think weekly videos is the value add that because I think that's sort of like the behind the scenes YouTuber mentality. So it's like, Another example is, one thing that drives me crazy is when YouTubers are talking to their audience and use the word content. They're like, oh, check out my content. Like, it's practically jargon. I mean, the audience probably knows what it means, but it's a meaningless word to them, really. Check out my videos, check out my tutorials, check out my templates. That has value. And so if you're talking to your audience, if you have a travel channel like I do, and I suddenly started talking about my CTR in the video, they wouldn't give a damn. They're like, that's not what I'm here for. I save that talk for this channel, Small YouTubers Boost. And so it's sort of like that, where it's like the fact that you upload weekly might be important to other YouTubers who might be considering, like, oh, do I want to collaborate with you? How current is the channel? Things like that. But to the standard person who just wants to make a picture in Canva for their PowerPoint at work, for their own YouTube channel, for their website, for whatever they want it for, the slideshow they're going to show at their parents' anniversary, whatever it might be, they probably don't care that the videos come weekly. Not to harp on it too much. You've got a hashtag, which is interesting. Canva Love. That's cool. It's interesting, the font that you've used there. I like it. It actually reminds me of a rockabilly YouTuber who is in our group and who I'm a strong supporter of and does great things on his channel, Max Hickson. He actually kind of does that sort of 60s rockabilly sort of font style. I like that. However, that having been said, it's almost like a third or fourth font that's been introduced in the same image. So Made In on the left is like a simple Arial or something. Canva's a brush stroke, that's probably their logo. Then you've got the nice blocked font that looks a little bit like Beavis. And then you've got this other font over here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 different fonts on one thing. I don't care that strongly about it. But I know graphic design people who lose their minds when there's more than like 2 fonts on a single image. So I leave that to you. You probably know graphic design better than I do and that industry. And it would be interesting, though, if you are in, say, a Facebook group of graphic design people, Canva experts, whatever, if you maybe made a couple versions of the banner or even just posted it and say, hey, is this too many fonts? What do you recommend? You might be able to get some really good feedback that way. That might be something to consider. That having been said, your banner is really solid. I don't think it's a bad banner by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that it could be a little bit better with some slight changes. So let's see here. You've got your social links. You've got your website, which is fine. The Like It or Not website. You know what? I am actually going to click on this for just a second to see. It's made by Weebly, Like It or Not Productions. Wanted to get a sense. Okay, it looks like there's a lot more here than just graphic design. Okay, so that's why you say the Like It or Not website. That's fine. You can probably drop the word website off of this, and you could probably just have Like It or Not. And then there's this logo. People will be a little bit curious. They might click on it. That might make it just a little bit cleaner. Just a thought. You got 2 Facebook links here. Let's see. The first one is okay. You've got a group, 8 members. Okay, so that's cool. And what's the second one? I'm gonna guess it's a page. This looks like the page. Okay. The category is blogger. Interesting. Okay. That's pretty good. My one thinking is like 2 Facebook logos next to each other, and yeah, the mouse over will say FB group and FB page. So that's okay. You might want to consider breaking it up by maybe having something between them and maybe put the Instagram between the 2. Just a thought. And you got the Instagram here. Make sure that link is working right. And you've got your, okay. So here, in your Instagram, you've got a link to your channel. This is not a custom URL. So if you don't have a custom URL, Canva Tutorials, and your URL on Instagram is Canva Tutorials. So if you can get Canva Tutorials on as many platforms as possible, go get it on Twitter, go get it on LinkedIn, lock it down on YouTube if you can, for that consistency. Even if the name on YouTube, the formal name is a little bit longer, that's fine. The custom URL easier to remember. They don't have to remember the like it or not part. It's shorter. It'll look better. You can put it on more things. You're not constrained because a long URL, you probably know that's hard to work into a design organically. But the shorter it is, the better. So that's great. Like one thing, I don't know that I have an example handy, but I used to do this thing with Vistaprint. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was called Promo Box, where you give them some of your logos, tell them what you're about, and they made all these promotional materials for you. In fact, that's how I got my Vacation Impossible mug. They designed that. But one of the things that they did on some, like, they made a big banner for me and some other thank you note. Ooh, a notepad. I think I have it on my notepads. Let me see if I find it here. It's been a little while, but this... And also, kind of a pro tip, whenever you are, making a video or doing a live stream, if you can have a visual aid, it's a good idea. Where's my notepad? Okay, it's also helpful if you have them handy. Can you tell it's been a while? It's been a while. All right, here we go. I found the notepad. So this was something that PromoBox came up with for me. But you better believe I'm going to be stealing their good ideas. They're not around no more, even though Vistaprint still is. And the whole idea was it was to get you to buy more Vistaprint stuff. It was a paid service. But what they did here is they just put the YouTube logo and then my channel name. And so you could have your YouTube logo and then just Canva tutorials. Nice and easy. You don't even have to have the HTTP. It doesn't necessarily need to obviously be a URL. Now, if that's the case, you're going to want to make it so that if people, search Canva tutorials, hopefully you come up. That would help. Let's do that quickly. Not. Okay, so maybe keep it looking like a URL rather than that logo trick for now, but then see where you're at in the future as your channel grows and the SEO sort of deepens and solidifies. So that's cool. All right, so you've got a channel trailer here, which is good. It looks to be about 1 minute and 18 seconds long, which is right in that sweet spot. The sweet spot for channel trailers, normally 30 to 90 seconds. You're right there. It's interesting. Welcome to the Canva Classroom. Now, I have mixed feelings about that. I think that that's cool. I like Canva Classroom. It's alliterative because they both start with C. And it's like that, Canva Classroom is that hard C, so it sounds alliterative as well as looking alliterative. But also, it's a cool name. However, you've introduced like a new name. So now I've got like 4 kind of names to remember almost. Or like it's not that I have to remember them, but it's that you could, it looks like you've already modified your tutorial, your profile picture here. I just noticed that. Cleaner image, cool. Nice, I like it. But what I was going to say is that, okay, so there's Made in Canva, which is probably a slogan, and people probably know it from Canva. And then there's Canva Tutorials, there's Canva Love, Canva Tutorials by Like It or Not, and now Canva Classroom's been introduced. So, while I like the Canva Classroom thing, maybe that could be like a playlist, one of many programs on your channel. YouTube kind of follows the television structure of old, where you turn into a channel, you watch different programs. But, if you watch the golf channel, there are going to be a bunch of different golf programs, but each one's going to, the programs might have different focuses. Welcome to putting practice with Pat. I don't know. So I have mixed feelings because I like Canva Classroom, but it's introducing yet another thing. So I don't know, something to think about. And again, it's not that bad. The way that it is now is fine. So let's see what kind of description you got on this video. Oh, it was only posted an hour ago. Okay, so this is new. 6 views. For a channel this size, 6 views in the first hour is not bad. Canva Tutorials by Like It or Not teaches how to use Canva with weekly lessons. I like the weekly lessons aspect. And that's the other thing too. Weekly videos, maybe replace videos with lessons. Then it's a little less YouTube jargony and a little bit more value add. They know they'll come here for weekly lessons. Oh, weekly, yeah, I can do that. I can go and watch the old weeks. I can take it bite size. I'll learn something new every week. Weekly lessons could be good. Something to think about. It's a program designed to create stunning custom items. Items is very vague. Images, graphics. I don't know about items. Items has a lower, I think, SEO value, and it's not as descriptive. And that's what content can mean anything. Items can mean almost anything. If you can be more specific, I think that's better. So create stunning custom graphics or images, whatever. Even for those that are in the early stage of learning, I like that. There's so many things you can do with Canva, from producing images for your YouTube channel, creating pictures for your social media presence, to even organizing your desktop. Yeah, that's true. It looks like there's an extra space between presence and to, so you might want to remove the extra space. You can also do for designing merchandise if you wanted to make T-shirts or some of those examples I talked about. Making splashy Photoshop screens or not Photoshop, PowerPoint screens for a work presentation. Maybe you want to make one thing that we do is for some of our relatives, we make a calendar every Christmas. We go on Vistaprint and we do a little design. We print up these custom calendars with pictures of our family. It's actually our son that everybody wants to see pictures of because the grandkids and stuff. So it's like he's the star of those calendars. But that's something. So like Canva could probably help with that sort of thing. Make a coffee mug. Whatever. I don't know that those, because talking about YouTube and social media presence and organizing your desktop, I think YouTube channel and social media is very similar. So as a list, I don't know that it's like really different examples. Your social media like YouTube, making better looking PowerPoints at work, and then like a third example of hey, designing a T-shirt for your next vacation or your merch store. Whatever. Just maybe something more diverse, I think. And organizing your desktop, I don't know how much people care about that these days. I could be wrong, but maybe it's because I have my logos as my desktop, so I haven't really cared about my desktop look in a long time once I kind of went that route. If you aren't familiar with Canva, that's okay. I kind of like that. Every expert was once a beginner. I very much like that. Okay, so you've got your uploads here. That's cool. You got your popular uploads immediately after that, which is a fair choice. So it's like, here's the recent stuff, here's the popular stuff. That's cool. YouTube content creators. Do you want to improve your graphic design and organization for your channel? YouTube content creators, features, thumbnails, intro animations, desktop. Okay. Canva organization. Interesting. So desktop organizer makes sense. Creating cohesive brand look in Canva, I don't know that feels like it's organization. That feels more like it's in content creators, and it's in both, I notice. I'm not sure that this video belongs in this playlist. Folder differences. Organize folders in Canva. That's interesting. Okay. Daily planner. Yeah, that's organization. Brand kit for free and first. The brand kit doesn't. I don't think that's organization. Or do you? Because it says. It's not Canva, the company, the organization, because you say here in the description on your playlist, and also good descriptions on your playlist, by the way, organize your digital life. So it's about organization in that sense. So let's see, what kind of playlist do we have here? Okay, so I think that the playlist that you have. I think, I don't know that organization, I mean, you can look at your analytics and see what performs well for you. I don't know that organization is going to be huge. I think that if I were designing your channel, I would have, what would I have first? I might have resources for Canva up first. Then maybe, or basics. Back to basics. It's speaking from your personal perspective, I think, because you are going back to basics. But for the learner, this is probably where they should begin. So one of the things that I have is on my travel channel, I go on a lot of Carnival cruises, and so I have videos about people who've never cruised before. How does your room key work? It does a lot more than open the door, and so I have a video about that. And so I call that Carnival Cruise Basics. So you could have something like just call that Canva Basics. Might be a little bit more welcoming to the person who doesn't know the platform at all. So if this was Canva Basics, I would put that really high. I would have like uploads, then Canva Basics, then maybe popular uploads, then go for things like resources, content creators, and then the advanced techniques. I think that would be, if it were up to me, that's how I would organize my playlist. But do so as you see fit. Take a quick look at your About page here. Looks like a lot of spaces between desktop and if, so you could probably remove the extra spaces there. I'm thinking that you copied this description from your channel trailer also to the About or vice versa, and that is okay. I'm just noticing some of the same extra spaces. The main channel. Okay. See, the main channel, like it or not, makes it sound like you're not focused or that this channel is not that as important to you. So I just remove the main channel and just say, like it or not, has been doing Canva tutorials. That's interesting. Since July 2020. That's fair. Although, honestly, since July 2020, I mean, we're talking a year. That's not actually a lot of time. So, like, if you were a restaurant and the restaurant was, like, established in 2020, I mean, because 2020 was what it was, it'd almost be like, ooh, kind of impressive you survived that. But that having notwithstanding, let's say you go to a restaurant that says open for 1 year. You're kind of like, huh. That's odd. Like, established, 1880. Okay, that makes sense. Established 1970. Okay. I'm not sure that 1 year is if you're ready to pivot to talking about the years of experience you have. So you could just say, like it or not, has been doing Canva tutorials for a while, and has received a lot of requests. And so this channel will be focusing on that going forward, rather than saying branching out, creating a channel, because that, again, it's that creator to creator talk. Like, oh, I've decided to branch out and create a channel. That makes sense if it's two YouTubers talking, or if you're talking to a brand. But if you're talking to your audience, not so much. So just say, I've decided to focus on that with, here. And so I think I would rewrite the second paragraph to consider that you are speaking to your audience. And that takes us to our half hour. So hopefully that was somewhat useful for you and other people watching. I try to make, these tutorials somewhat general, so that people, not just the channel I'm looking at, will have an opportunity to get something out of it. So stay tuned, because there are going to be more useful tips that will apply to you, even if we're not looking at your channel. All right, I'm just going to get caught up on chat, and then I'm going to go into that next review for Finance Center. Let's see. I worked on the logo earlier. It doesn't have that made in Canva part and others. Okay, cool. I'd love to have just Canva tutorials, but the SEO goes down because, yeah, that makes sense. That's an issue. Carping with Connor. I'd appreciate channel review. I know that I've been inconsistent, but towards the end of my content started to gain traction. I was making higher quality and better edited videos. Any tips? We'll get to that in due course. DJ Talks is here. I was getting ready for this. I'm like, I'll probably get to see DJ Talks today, so that's great. Stupid Robot Fighting League is here. Awesome. Hey, my mic is clipping. Might want to check my levels. Okay, so I'm spiking. Is that what you're saying? Oh, yes, I am. Let me adjust my levels. Test, test, test. Yeah, I'm still getting into the red line. Test, test, test. Should be a little bit better. Test, test. Okay, that should keep me in mostly... Okay, I'm loud today. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm just turning this right the heck down, and it's not... The levels are going down just a little bit. Okay. Now I think that should keep me from spiking. Let me know in the chat if you can still hear me when I talk quietly and when I am boisterously loud. Thanks for the heads up on those levels. I wish I'd noticed that earlier, but I'm bad for keeping an eye on chat. I had one video take off this weekend. Pretty fun to watch. My first time to get 2,500 views in the first 24 hours of a video. That hasn't happened to me many times either, but it is an amazing feeling when it does. Picked up 70 subs in one day. That is nice. Yeah, you've got me beat on that. I don't think I've done 70 in a day. Hasn't updated yet. Stupid Remote Fighting League is nice and short. The milkshake psych. Sorry, Ray, you can skip my channel review. I can't stick around for it. Well, one thing to keep in mind is that these are rewatchable. In fact, there used to be a processing time after. I think that's not a thing anymore. So as soon as we're done, you can go back to the beginning and watch it all over again if you like. So even if you can't necessarily stick around. Let's see. Looks like you hurt your beard a bit, right? Yeah, what was that? There was a day where I just felt like getting rid of it. I'm trying to remember what that was. I don't know. I think I was headed out to a dinner party or something. Let's see. I don't know how to organize them on playlists. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but we might get to that a little bit later. That's so much better. I used to do sound. Okay, cool. Glad that I fixed that. And that's one of those things is like I do my little sound check and I check the levels before I go live, but that's when I'm sitting here all calm, and then I start getting excited about YouTube stuff, and then I get loud. So I need to remember that for the future, because I get into it and it's fun for me. All right, so anyways, Finance Center wanted a channel review. Start the clock. So again, if you're just joining us, I do free channel reviews that are capped at 30 minutes. If I don't have time to get to you or you want something more in-depth, there is a paid option. You can contact me through Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, or message me on Twitter. consider for $25 US, the price subject to change if I get busy. I can do a more detailed channel review that'll include links to your channel. Will be posted on the channel. Lots of action items, and might drive some traffic. You can watch as many times as you like. So, that having been said, okay, so Finance Center is a little tricky. I mean, it kind of tells me on the surface what you're about. It's going to be a financial channel, obviously. It scores a good in TubeBuddy. I've got my browser plugin installed on the right here. If you want to get it for free, link down below. Scores a 56, but we're getting the Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times and this thing over here I've never heard of. So I'm going to filter by channel, see if that gets any better. And let me just check that against the logo. Okay, so you come up first when I filter by channel. So that's something. So you've got dollar signs inside of coins that are green, the color of money, and an arrow going up. And so I think that's okay. It's not clip arty. It's on the good side of clip art, so it's not quite there. But it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. When I see it, it just feels, I guess, a little generic, I suppose, is what it is. So anyways, let's jump in. You've got 219 subscribers. So again, hopefully you've got your custom URL set up. In fact, let's just very quickly. It looks like youtube.com/finance center is available. So if you don't already have your custom URL, having gotten 100 subscribers, that would be a fantastic one to go get. And if you've already got it, every now and then you are able to change it with some restrictions. And so depending on what you got, if you want to maybe have that, it's available. So jump on it quick. I don't know how many people are watching, but... all right, so let's go into... you got 13 videos, not bad. Let's go into your channel description. And again, I'm going to be brutal here, because if I'm just here and polite and nice and love and sunshine, you don't get any action items. And I'm here to try and help you make changes that improve things. It says, hey, welcome to... Please, don't say that. It has no SEO value. If somebody searches welcome, they're not looking for your channel. And you know what? They're not going to find your channel, and that's as it should be. So really, don't say, hey, welcome to... No. You can say that verbally in your videos if you want to be welcoming in that way. In text, it's bad for two reasons. One, you get no SEO value out of it, so it's a waste of space. And speaking of space brings us to our second point. When your channel appears in search results, it crops it after the first couple lines. You get like 140 characters, 120 characters, something like that. And then as you see here, it cuts you off. So don't waste those early characters by saying, hey, welcome, because everybody says it and it has very little value. So, my goal and aim, those are two words that mean the same thing, so a little redundant, is to help you reach your financial goals. Okay, let me rewrite this first sentence for you. Feel free to use this if you like it. Finance Center will help you reach your financial goals. Then immediately pivot to something else that adds value or entices people. You know, it says, I go into detail with... I don't know where that sentence is going, and it doesn't really make me want to click more, just personally, even though I am interested in financial matters. And so I think Financial Center will help you reach your financial goals is perfect. Because you got finance and financial, and you get both those words in there, different variants of the same root word, good SEO on that. But I mean, seriously, you have goal in the first sentence twice. My goal is to help you reach your financial goals. Pluralizing it, still, it's like, that's not great. I don't think. Finance it is, because that's really a keyword for your channel. Goal, not nearly as much. Because, you know, soccer fans are not looking for you, as just one example. So yeah, Financial Center will help you reach your financial goals, and then pivot from that into something else that's much tighter. People get what they want right away. People are lazy. Now, that is not a bad thing. We have to accept and be one with our laziness. Lazy is just another word for efficient, because people don't got time. Their time is precious. That's why I talk so fast. So, if you can give them and get straight to the point faster, they will reward you for it. They will appreciate it. That's why, like, when I have my videos on this channel, I have my really quick, like, I say, hey, this is what it's about. I crash my opening titles, which are pretty short, and then I go instantly into giving value right away. And honestly, like, full disclosure, I have that animated thing partly to kind of show people what it can look like and be short. I'm not actually a fan of intros myself. You'll notice on my Vacation Impossible channel, I almost never use them. I go straight into the content on that channel. But I want to show people sort of like what they can kind of look like, because all those channels that just have their name bouncing to really loud, bad EDM music drives me up the frickin' wall. And so I want to show them, hey, look, your intro doesn't have to be 20 decibels higher than the rest of your video. It doesn't have to be, you know, just text bouncing around. It doesn't have to be, you know, 20 seconds long, which is a forever. And so those sorts of things. I think that we look at some of the big YouTubers or YouTubers of the past that were trying to get like a lot of watch time. And so they talk about like, oh, I'm going to explain what CTR is after 15 minutes of explaining to you why YouTube's important or whatever. And like, I don't want to trash those videos, because those people often do end up having good value, but you got to really wait for it, and they draw out the watch time, and that's a strategy, but it's not a strategy I appreciate. I might watch that video, but I'm not going to subscribe to that channel, because I won't have to go through that again if I can avoid it. So my personal opinion, and like, I want to make YouTube better. That's part of why I do these live streams. And I think if people got to the point faster, YouTube would be better. So, Finance Center, find your passive income online. Now we're talking. Now I'm excited about your channel. Passive income. All right. Like, that's cool. I love passive. Like, I love going on a cruise, and after like a week on a cruise, going on my phone and being like, how much money did I earn while I was on freaking vacation with no Wi-Fi? I love that. That is a fantastic feeling, whether it's from AdSense or affiliate sales or whatever. And so passive income, cool. Because Finance Center could have been anything. Like, for one thing, it could have been just about trading stocks or something. And that I'm a little less interested in, because everyone and their dog has an opinion on stocks. But I'm always open to new ideas about passive income, because I think that's cool. So in your about, remember I said pivot to that additional ad? I think your second sentence began with like, I go into detail on. How about learn all about passive income? Or, you know, passive income is the wave of the future, or something like that. Passive income is our focus. So that you get those words passive income real early on in the description, and then people see them in search results and in other places where it might get truncated, search engines, places like that, other websites, what have you. You get to your point right away. Now we're talking passive income. Cool, I'm excited. The background image is not to my personal taste. There's nothing wrong with it, it's okay, but I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I'm not totally loving. And again, take it with a grain of salt. There's no right or wrong answer, it's all about taste. But this is just from some generic Canadian giving you his opinion. This sort of triangle thing that's black that's coming down, it's kind of jaggedy. It looks like it's suffering from compression artifacts. It looks like a vector that didn't truly draw like a straight line. And so I don't like that. The yellow and the blue, that's all fine. The black, I do not like. It makes the image look of lower quality. I see here you've got the same image as you have in your profile picture. However, the aspect ratio has been messed with. It's been squeezed in. That doesn't look professional. That looks like a bad copy and paste job from your profile image. And so having that there is good and fine, but copy it as it maintain the aspect ratio of the original, because especially when they're side by side, that aspect ratio push, the squeeze of the image, it just jumps out at me. And the thing is, over the years, I've been on the internet since basically there was an internet. I've been around for a while. I'm an elder of the internet. And so from the early days to just earlier today, one of the easy ways to catch, and I'm not talking about you here, but one of the easy ways to catch scams is when the graphics are poorly done and quickly done and done in probably really inferior software, to be honest. And aspect ratios that don't look right is one of the dead giveaways. And so when you get an email from your bank and you're like, is this really my bank? Or from YouTube and they're like, oh, there's a problem with your account. Click here to log in. And like, it's a Yahoo link and you're like, no, that's not a thing. We to protect ourselves, so many of us are constantly looking for those hallmarks of low quality, low effort, or scams. And aspect ratios that look off are one of those dead giveaways. Now, maybe it's just me, but whenever I see an aspect ratio that's clearly just not right, like the face is compressed to the point where their proportions do not look accurate, that just sets off my scam spidey sense. And you don't want that happening, particularly where you're talking about financial matters. Because, a lot of times when people are like, oh, you're about passive income, but does that mean you're just trying to make income off of me? Are you just going to be trying to sell me something? Or are you genuinely going to give me value so that I can go get passive income myself? That's a question. And so those little things, again, these are nitpicks, I understand, but they can make a big impression. And I think they're relatively easy to fix. So you've got the world, you've got some coins with different currencies, you've got the pound and the euro and Bitcoin, which I'm not a fan of, because I want to buy a new graphics card. When I was trying to start going live here today, my graphics card crashed, and I would love to go get a nice high-end graphics card, but Bitcoin has made those so expensive that I am angry. So I'm not a fan of Bitcoin, to say nothing about its funding illegal activities all over the world, and dangerous and deadly ones. So for moral reasons and for personal reasons, I hate Bitcoin, but that's just me. However, another thing to consider is like when Twitter accounts get hacked, they try to sell Bitcoin. So again, it's like that spider sense of scamminess. Like crypto is it's not my thing, but it's fine for people who it's their thing. And blockchain, my friend Achilles Melee on YouTube is always trying to tell me about how blockchain can have so many amazing potential applications, and I believe him even though I don't understand him when he tells me these things, because I'm not that excited about it. But and so I understand that it might be worth talking about. But of all the different money things that we're looking at here, are the thing that's most likely to set off that spidey sense of scam, dodgy, I don't trust this, Bitcoin's really high on that list. So that's just, I don't know how much you want to feature that. I mean, maybe that your channel's a lot about that, but it says passive income, so I'm hoping it's not too much about that. And the next thing over, and I kind of like the art style, those black triangles notwithstanding. I hate those, but the rest of it I like. And so I like the art style because it's like kind of a watercolor thing, and I think that's kind of cool. But this image you have with the $ and the check mark, that to me reminds me of all these people from certain parts of Asia predominantly, but not exclusively, who are constantly saying, get this app and earn money, and here's a screenshot of me getting paid. And those don't have the air of professionalism to me. And so, while I like the art style, that part of the image to me is off-putting. But again, a lot of what I'm talking about is my personal taste. Your banner here is largely fine. I mean, in chat, let me know if I'm crazy about this, but like those black triangles, they need to go, right? It's not just me. So let's take a look at your channel here. You only have one row of videos. So one thing I strongly recommend you do after this live stream, I've got a video on this channel that I just put out, I think like yesterday or the day before, that's all about setting up your channel, talking about playlists and rows and things like that. Strongly recommend you give that a watch. Also, I notice you have no social links here. I'm just going to hop over to your About page here. I go into detail with entrepreneurship, cool, dropshipping, not a fan, investing, meh, crypto, not a fan, making money online, a fan, many other side hustles, fan. I will be posting daily. Let's see if you're doing that. Is that true? Well, right here, we've already put the lie to what you said in your About page. And that's the thing. I really don't like it when people put an upload schedule publicly. Have it as a private goal, that's fine. If you put it publicly and then you don't adhere to it, you're starting off on the wrong foot. You say you upload daily. You went 3 days here without uploading and another 3 days there without uploading. So it's not true. So just don't say it. Upload as much as you want, as little as you want. My recommendation, no more than once per day, no less than once per week is generally the sweet spot. If you really want the algorithm working for you, you want to set that thing on fire, that's the sweet spot. Just don't say it publicly, because it's put pressure on you, and then when you miss it, it kind of chips away at the credibility. So I don't think it's worth doing. Where was I? I will be posting daily make money online and business-related videos, so make sure to hit the bell icon, and that way you'll never miss new strategies. Join me by clicking the red subscribe button, and you're based in the UK. Okay, cool. A couple of things, and this actually applies to the previous channel review that I was doing as well. I just ran out of time. But one thing that I would really want to stress, and people who watch this live stream know what I'm reaching for. It's here somewhere. I really want to stress something that you should probably put in your second or third paragraph on your About page, and that is, why are you doing it? Why are you on YouTube? Why do you make the channel that you do? And so this is Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. I've got an Amazon US affiliate link in the description. But The book is pretty good. Honestly, I think his TED Talk's better. So if you want to search Simon Sinek, Golden Circle, Start With Why, something like that. Again, after the video, not now. Go check it out. And he really does a great job of explaining that if your audience or your customers understand why you're doing what you're doing, then they're more likely to form a deeper emotional attachment and support everything that you do. That's how you get those true fans. Let's talk about true fans for a second. There's a theory called the true fan theory out there that basically says if you have 1,000 true fans, you never have to work a day in your life. Let's talk about what that means. Let's break that down. So true fans are people, it's not just your subscribers, it's a subset. These are people who will watch every video you put out, will subscribe to multiple channels if you have more than one. They will buy everything you make. They will try every suggestion and endorsement you make. These are true, deep fans with an emotional connection, presumably, to you and what you're about and what you care for. And how that happens is because they believe what you believe. They share your why. So what is your why? Is your why to help people diversify their income because the world is uncertain right now and a lot of people are losing their jobs and a lot of industries are hurting? I think that's a noble purpose people can get behind. If you just want to make yourself rich, that's not really a why. Money is a result of a why. It's not the why. Money enables you to pursue your dreams. And so the why is your dream. What is your dream? What is the better world that you envision and that you hope to bring about through your channel? I'll give you a couple examples because they are mine. On my Vacation Impossible channel, I believe that travel is good, more travel is better. And that for me, one of the saddest things is the person on their deathbed who says, I wish I'd made it to Europe. I never got to do that Europe trip. Or a lesser version of that, because that's pretty bleak, not to be a downer. But another example is when I'm traveling myself and I hear someone say, well, this is my trip of a lifetime. Like they only get one big trip in their lives. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be that way. I believe that travel enriches people. It exposes them to new ideas. It helps mental health, and it's fun. And you meet new people and so many, exposed to new cultures, new food, new music, all sorts of stuff. It is fantastic. And I think I love travel so much, and it enriches lives. And the thing is, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in welfare, whatever your local version of that might be. And through education, I went to school, got a degree, an advanced degree, and got out of poverty, and I started to travel the world. But my old friends who were in different stages of following that kind of path, they always thought travel was an extravagance that they couldn't afford. And once you get above a certain subsistence level, I think that you can travel. And people think that it's difficult and it's risky and it's expensive, and it's not nearly as bad as people think. And so my mission on my Vacation Impossible channel is to show you how to travel cheap and more often and maybe different and have more fun and be more relaxed when you do it. This is something I care about because I started that channel because I wanted my friends and my family to come travel with me, and they thought that they couldn't or shouldn't. And I was out to convince them otherwise, and now it's become bigger. And I'm trying to convince the world. On this channel, Small YouTubers Boost, my why is a little different, but it's very similar. It's all about helping people and basically saying that the things you think are impossible are not. I believe that with the right idea, with the hard work, you can succeed on YouTube, but it's difficult. There are technical challenges. YouTube's a giant platform, and so Google and Alphabet and YouTube has had to create all these automated systems, the dreaded algorithm, because there's no other way to manage it. There's just too much for humans to do. And so the problem is that's never going to be perfect. And so you need to know SEO. You need to know how to do info cards and an end screen and channel trailers and banner and all this stuff. And there isn't always a good place to go learn that. When I was learning it, I struggled. It was hard. I fell on my face more times than I didn't. And it was hard for me to find really trustworthy resources that weren't just trying to sell me a course. And so I'm out to make YouTube more fair. I think that if we all know how to do these technical things, suddenly YouTube isn't about he knows the secret. It's about he's got the better idea. She worked harder. He's more talented. She's funnier. Those sorts of things. And when it's a marketplace of ideas, I think the quality goes up. And then when I sit back and I get to watch YouTube for fun, I don't have to wade through 20 reaction videos that's really just the person sitting there staring at a little box in their screen and not saying or doing anything. And instead, I might get something of a better quality. So that's my why. That's what I care about. That's what I'm passionate about. And if you believe those things, or if that sounds good, then, if you think I'm right about travel, go subscribe to Vacation Impossible. If you want to succeed at YouTube, if you think YouTube should be more fair and can be more fair, and that these things can be explained without a 20-minute introduction, subscribe to this channel. Click like on this video. And you can join the cause to try and make YouTube more fair, and to try and get the world to travel more and be more interconnected in that way. On those are my two missions that I'm pursuing on YouTube. And so for people who feel that and who get that, I mean, I think my passion for it comes through. I get excited about this stuff. You know, I always like, oh, I'm going to do a live stream, whatever. Camera goes on, 2 seconds into chat, and I'm like, super animated, because this is exciting for me. This speaks to my values. So people who share those values are going to come along on the journey. They're going to watch all the videos. They're going to subscribe maybe on both channels. They might even support my Patreon, patreon.com/vacationimpossible. Whatever. You know, they might follow me on Instagram or whatever it might be. Join Facebook groups, etc., etc. And so that enables me to do more. If I make passive income, which is something that you're about, then maybe that enables me to go on more trips because I can afford more trips. So then, you know, I can fuel this. But my goal isn't to sit and watch my bank account rise. What does that money enable me to do? And so that's the question. Why is passive income important to you? And what do you want the future world to look like? My future world is people travel all over the time, and if they got a good idea, work hard, they succeed on YouTube. That's not oh, YouTube's impossible. Not, oh, travel is dangerous and expensive and I can't do it. That's failure. Success to me, the better world is people are traveling and maybe YouTube's paying for it. Wouldn't that be great for so many of us? And so if you can have a why like that, and again, check out the book, affiliate link in the description. Check out his TED Talks. They're amazing. Simon Sinek. I think it's better than his book, honestly. But depends, you know, different people like to absorb information different ways. What do you like to read or watch? Given that you're on YouTube, I'm guessing watch, but who knows? It takes all sorts. So I think if you include that, if somebody is curious about it, maybe they watch a video or two and they're like, what's this channel like about? And then they go to the about page, this was for, and then they can say like, oh, you want to help people in, I don't know, third world countries use the internet to pull themselves out of poverty and level the playing field between the first world and the third world. Maybe that's something that they care about, a value that they agree with. And so maybe then they'll go and support you, watch all your videos and subscribe and share. So that's just something to think about there. Let's see if you've got playlists. No playlists. Okay. The good news is, I mean, the bad news is a rookie mistake, but the good news is this is easy to fix. So it's super easy to create a playlist. Like, should I just go and do it? Show you how to create a playlist? It is pretty dirt simple. Let me just manipulate my thing here so I don't accidentally show you something I'm not allowed to. Yeah, this should work. Hop back into my main browser here. So to make a playlist, if you go into Creator Studio and click on Playlists, on the right-hand side, in the top right-hand corner, you will see New Playlist. Click on that, you put in a title, and then you click Create. It's just that easy. Now you're going to want to go in and edit your playlist to add descriptions, and then as you are going on, you know, you go look at the videos on your own channel. To add to a playlist, you click on the 3 dots, you click Save to Playlist, click the playlist you want, and then there'll be a save option. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm not going to add your videos to my playlist. The point is, it's super easy. Every single video that you make needs to be in at least one playlist. This helps trigger the a micro boost in the algorithm. It organizes your content, it makes things easier to find, and it helps you with SEO, search engine optimization. There's something that that I call keyword alignment. So let's say you got a video here, compounding dividends. Let's say that's your keyword that you're going after. If in your video you say the words compounding dividends, you caption the video to say compounding dividends appears in your title, description, and tags, then you've got some keyword alignment. But let's take it another step further. If it's in a playlist that has compounding dividends, and in the playlist description it says compounding dividends, and then in the video, in the comments, people are using the phrase compounding dividends, you've got maximum keyword alignment, and the algorithm on YouTube is in big part all about confidence. Is it confident that it knows what you're about? And if you've got the same keyword in all those places I just mentioned, then it's pretty darn confident that that's what your video is about. And so when people search that, that's when it'll rise up in the search results and people will find it. And so having it in that playlist is part of it. The other benefit of playlists is that is how you populate your homepage. You've got uploads. One thing you can do right now, even before you create playlists, is go in and add another row that is popular uploads. And again, if you watch my video about how to set up your channel, it'll show you how. And then make sure that you've got some playlists. Make sure that they're accurate. Group them together. Like you've got cryptocurrency here and cryptocurrency here. So a cryptocurrency playlist, absolutely. How to make money work for you. Probably is similar to compounding dividends. There's a theme here. Assets you must own to make extra income. Yeah, so that's sort of like make money for you. You know, what was it? I think Einstein said that the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. Something to think about. And then over here, you got how to make money online and passive income. So a passive income playlist. So when someone like me with my interest comes along, I would decide to probably just watch the passive income thing. I'm not interested in cryptocurrency. You heard my crypto rant earlier. I'm not really that interested in looking into stocks at this time. I have some mutual funds, but I'm doing my own thing there. I don't need to follow sort of internet advice on that. But passive income is something that I feel like there's always new things to learn. And so if you had a passive income playlist, I would come and maybe that's what I would watch. But since you don't, that's a missed opportunity potentially there. So that's something to think about as well. I notice also that you don't have any social links here. So one thing that you might want to consider is what kind of links would you like to have? You know, I recommend going out and signing up on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and all those different places, you know, Snapchat and TikTok and everything with the name of your channel so that you can lock it down. Even if you're not doing anything on those platforms yet, the older that account is, the more it will clearly be you. If you blow up overnight, you know, if what was his name? Jim Cramer or something mentioned your channel or something, I don't know, somewhere, tweeted about it, let's say. And you don't have a Twitter account, he can't tag you because you're not there to be tagged. But maybe he'll link to your channel, and maybe your channel blows up overnight. But of course, in the passive income space, people want to make money, and a lot of people aren't above pretending to be you to try and make that money. So then somebody sees that that's happening. Maybe a fan of Jim Cramer, just picking a name at random. Although if you haven't seen Jon Stewart's takedown of Jim Cramer, oh god, it is delicious. You got to watch that. Many years ago, it's from the Daily Show, but it was awesome. Roll 212. It was a great moment in television and accountability. But putting that aside, so let's say that somebody sees that he mentioned you. You're not on Twitter. I'm going to go create a Twitter account in your name. I'm going to download your graphics here and put them up, and then I'm going to use my Robinhood link or something, or my Amazon affiliate link, or I'm going to, run some Bitcoin scam or something, some referral, and I'm going to post a bunch of stuff on Twitter. And so now, this nefarious mustache-twirling individual is making money off of your success, your hard work, and frankly, your luck. And that's not cool. So, and then, let's say you discover this, and you're like, well, that's not cool, I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to go create my own Twitter. And so now, you've created a Twitter account, might not have as good a URL or a username as a result, and now you're like, okay, I got to shut this fake down. But he's got the older profile. He's been you on Twitter longer than you've been you on Twitter. And now you've got a fight that's harder to win. And so, do it now, is my advice to anybody. Go and sign up for all the platforms, even if you don't know how they work. Lock down the username. Maybe you'll use it in the future. Maybe whatever, but you'll have it there. And so if you do start doing something there, and you might want to provide a social link or two to drive some people there, if some of that's generating passive income for you, for example, then that's something you might want to consider. If you have a website, you could link it. And so to put a social link up here, you want to basically add it in the description, and you can do all that in your settings. It's really intuitive, quite easy. So that, I think, is my half hour there. I'm also curious. You see, these videos, the pictures all look like they're stock images and stock videos. So that would make me less likely to watch. That makes me think that this is what YouTube calls reused content, possibly. Or you might be just running afoul of that, possibly. That's not how you spell explained. Exaplined. So fix the typo in that thumbnail. I'm sorry to say, but there's a lot of things I'm seeing here that make me not want to watch your channel. But a lot of them are easily fixable. But I do kind of have to wonder, like, how much of this is original idea? There was problems before where, somebody would go to a blog or a listicle or some other thing, just take that content, grab some, Creative Commons stock footage and just repurpose it And that looks, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, I'm saying that's what it looks like, and that would make me not want to watch. So just something to think about. All right, let me just get quickly caught up on chat here. Chat scrolling without my permission. Okay, I think I'm back to where I was. Better audio, yes, okay. Calm ray zone. Yeah, it doesn't last long. No, I don't have that. How do I get it? If you're talking about TubeBuddy, there is a link down below in the description of this. You can sign up for it. The browser plugin is free, and if that's what you're talking about, that is super, super useful. That link I put up is... Oh, did Stupid Robot Fighting League put up a link? I'm not seeing it. Links might be blocked. Hey, Let me see here. That link I put up is Ray's video on how to customize channel page. You know what? Hey, Stupid Robot Fighting League. How would you like to be a moderator in chat? And that way you should be able to share links. Boom. Now you're a moderator. We've known each other long enough. I think I can trust you with that. All right. I know how to customize my channel, but I think I was misunderstanding and thinking that he meant I could arrange the playlists on the playlist tab. You can. You can arrange the order that the playlist appears on your channel, and you can arrange the order that the videos appear within your playlist. You can do both of those things, assuming that's what you're talking about. On the homepage, I know, but what about the playlist? Oh, on the playlist tab! Right, okay. No, I don't think you can control the order it appears there. I think that goes by when they were last modified, I think is how that sorts as a default. Let me just check it out on my own and see if I can remember. Because you've got sort by... Okay, date added is the default, and then there's last video added. So, yeah, unfortunately you don't control that any more than you control how your videos appear on the videos tab. It's the same deal. It's got the default sort, which is date added, but you can switch it to things like most popular or the oldest. Okay, so yeah, I misunderstood that, but I got there eventually. Just go and refresh my memory, which is what I just did for myself. I had planned on working on my homepage customization on the playlist, but then wasn't sure if I could organize in some way in the playlist tab itself. Fair enough. Featured sections. Oh, okay, we're talking about the settings for... Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't mean on the tab. Good explanation there, Stupid Robot Fighting League. You want to record another member tip video for this channel? That was well explained. I think if you use your logo and make it larger, it would look sharp. With the right aspect ratio for Finest Center. Yeah, I agree with that. Stupid powers to make the world a better place. That's what I'm talking about. Make the world a better place. Ray, you're crazy, but don't change. Thank you. Accurate. You know, it's funny. I posted the video about the channel layout just the other day, and I think it was King Jace came and commented, and he was like, where have you been? We thought you gave up on YouTube. I was like, whoa, I've been around since 2006 on YouTube? I ain't going nowhere. As they say on College Humor Game Changers, I've been here the whole time. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I produced some shorts on the Small YouTubers Biz channel, but my last live stream was like at least 2 months ago, so it's been a while, but I've been focusing on other things. The Facebook group, which, hey, the URL's up there on the banner right now, facebook.com/groups/Small YouTubers Boost. Go check that out. We've got a bunch of resources there. We've got the guides that show you tons of stuff. Amazing group. If you want to get opinions about, like, hey, which of these two thumbnails is better and why, those are super helpful posts in the group. I often, jump in on those. Lots of great resources there. And I've also been trying to get Vacation Impossible a little caught up. I did a bit of a road trip, as you see, in BC and Alberta, and so that's those videos that you see up there right now. Something I've been focusing on a little. And honestly, I've been playing some video games. I've been like, you know what? Everybody else got to play video games during the pandemic. I want mine. I 100%ed Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition on the Switch, and now I'm playing Bravely Default 2. So not everything I do is YouTube, but a lot. I think so. I think there's too much. I think the words need to be larger and the phone image needs to be tweaked, I smashed the like button in the face. That's right. That like button said things about your mother, so smash it. I have a Vacation Impossible shirt. I'm way hardcore. That is true. We have merch on Vacation Impossible, and John is one of like 2 people who's ever bought it, and so we love John. John's amazing. Stupid Robot Fighting League. Check him out. Hi, if there's still time when you're caught up, channel review. Well, we'll see if we have time. I don't think life is interfering quite yet. Yeah, no, things seem to be okay in the real world for now. Plus, people from other countries can see your beard. This is true. Can someone songify this, please? That would be awesome. I would like that. I'm just here for the beard. I would love to be able to travel. I really need a channel review. My content is good, and I feel like I'm doing all the SEO stuff. I have TubeBuddy and vidIQ, but my videos aren't doing too well. Oh, why do I have rules? I would want to jump to this right away because it's like, hey, if your channel does well, maybe you can travel more, and so I want to help you badly. Thank you, appreciate the feedback. Loads of changes I can make. Also, quick question: YouTube already has ads on my videos. Is that a good thing? There's a video on this channel that explains that, and so it was a decision they made like 8 months ago. They changed the policy, and they're running ads whether you're monetized or not. And so, is it a good thing? I tried to find the positive in my video on that, and you can go check that out after this live stream. So that whether it's good or not is in the eyes of the beholder is a matter of policy. But the fact that it's happening to your channel, I guess. But there's nothing we can do about it. The only thing you can do is get monetized to control your ads. Because then you can be in control of, what kind of ads appear when, rather than YouTube just doing whatever the heck it wants. So that's something to think about. Small YouTubers boots. That's merch I hadn't considered. I know you've made the joke before, but maybe there's merch there. I did make Small YouTubers Boost merch. I just haven't sold anything. Or even gotten samples for myself yet. It was just something I did for fun one day. Ray Cuddles YouTube. Hey, if I get some of my own merch, I made my own subscribe pillow. I should get that and yeah. You like a boudoir spread on Instagram? No, nobody wants that. I would like to get my channel monetize Canva. They already have ads on my video. Would that likely get my channel monetized? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there. I'm still here. Cool. All right. Well, let me go back to the request and start ticking along, so maybe I can get caught up. So going back here. All right. Carping with Connor asked for a channel review. And they had said, I would appreciate a channel review. I know that I've been inconsistent, but towards the end, I guess you mean recently, or are you ending your channel? My content started to gain traction as I was making higher quality and better edited videos. Any tips? Channel review, any tips? Okay, well, it's kind of the same question, maybe. Sounds like you're wanting to know a little bit more about video stuff rather than channel writ large, so we'll see. But let's start the clock. All right, 30-minute free channel review begins now. And again, if I don't get to you, you can contact me through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and there are paid options. $25 US will get you a 45 to 60-minute video on this channel with links to your channel and lots of action items. That's the short version of that pitch. Okay. All right. I can do some... I've got some suggestions here right off the bat. So Carping with Connor is kind of a cool name. All those C sounds, kind of a cool name. So it's slightly alliterative. And it's kind of a cool name because at first you're like, you mean camping? You mean crap? No, carping, like the fish. Okay. That works. I think that's a cool name. So you got your logo here, and I would make some changes. To start off, I would make the actual image itself larger. Such that basically the mountains and the trees at the bottom are getting close to touching the edge of the logo. Let me just take another quick look in ye old chat here to see, because that shrinks down really small and it looks like a blue bullseye with a green, I don't know, X-wing flying into it. I don't know what, it shrinks it so small. Now, making your logo look good in chat is nearly impossible because it shrinks it to crazy amounts. But I think, yeah, making this just kind of larger, zooming in a bit is good. The social links in the profile, I think, is not a good look, personally. I'd remove the Facebook, the YouTube, and the Instagram. For one thing, this is on YouTube. We don't need the YouTube logo. And why would you want your logo to contain other companies' logos? If you make it big, that can get into tricky legal copyright issues. So you've got a you got a camera and a fish. So what I would do is make the camera and fish larger after removing the Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram logos. Put one on top of the other maybe, and make them as big as you can get inside that inner circle without them touching the edge of the circle. And I think that would be good. Those are my 2 recommendations. Make the whole thing big. Well, 3. Whole thing bigger. Remove the social stuff, and then make the inside a little bit bigger. So that's for the logo. The channel name on my TubeBuddy browser plugin. Again, if you don't have the browser plugin, just get it. It's free. Link down below. When people message me and they're like, hey, can you help me? And I find out, like, my first question is, do you have TubeBuddy? Because if you don't, you haven't even helped yourself yet. So anyways, it scores it as a 43. So from an SEO standpoint, it's good, not great. But it's kind of a cool, fun name. So I think that's fine. And once again, cardinal sin of channel description, beginning with welcome to. Please no. My name is Connor Woodall. I'm a 17-year-old angler. I have created this channel. This needs work. This reads like a dating profile of old. Plenty of fish. Carping, fish. Anyways. I'll see myself out. No. Groan alert. Bad puns. Dad jokes. A couple things. If your name is really Connor Woodall, I would consider removing that. Because I practice something called security by obscurity. Few people on the internet know my full name. If you search my full name, you will not find me. And so you hear stories of like big YouTubers getting stalkers and people like finding their houses and breaking in, and some even worse. There have been fatalities. And so I know that that's maybe a paranoid extreme place to take it, but really protect yourself and be prepared for success. It's kind of a funny thing. Like when I'm in a restaurant and something's gone wrong, like the food is taking an hour or something ridiculous, and maybe I'll complain a little bit. I'm normally the last person to do it, but when I do, I kind of try to do it politely but seriously. And what I hate is when the person, the server, the manager, whoever, comes back and says, we're really busy. And I'm like, yeah, that's why you're here. That's your goal. If you can't do your job well when everything's going right, what the hell are you doing? The goal of a restaurant is to be busy. Being busy in a restaurant should not be a problem. It should be a moment for a high five. And so similarly, I take a similar approach thinking about YouTube. And I don't know that many other creator support, whatever you call this role would be, take that kind of approach. But it's like, we have the dream of being the overnight success. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be wonderful? But are we prepared for it? Like, one of the things that you often have probably heard is that people who win the lottery end up poor. And you're like, that makes no sense. And there's a couple of reasons. Some of it is because sort of patterns and mentality. And a good person to... do I have one of his books here? Do I? I think maybe. No, I don't. Andrew Matthews wrote a book called Being Happy. I've got a link to that down below. And it talks about patterns and mental self-talk and stuff like that. And so, like, one of the things that I do as sort of a mantra is, and it's straight from Being Happy, is he says, whatever I do, I end up making money. But it's the people who tell themselves they're constantly in debt. It's like target fixation. They say that when you're driving, you want to look where you want to go. Don't look at the thing you want to avoid, because then you'll fixate on it and you will subconsciously but physically drive into the thing you want to avoid. And so you want to focus on the positive outcome. And so instead of asking yourself, what happens if I fail? Ask yourself, what happens if I succeed? Now, I know that there's a whole sort of economic, political thing, particularly in the U.S., where it's like, let's not tax millionaires because I'll be a millionaire one day. I'm not talking about that. That's something a little different. But because that's often people voting against their economic self-interest. It's like, I don't need a pay cut. Give a pay cut to the millionaires because I might be one day. It's like, that's a little crazy to me. But political thoughts aside, if you think about what if I became an overnight success, what does that mean? If that means that my real legal name is out there in my About page, then it can be really easy for these people to find me. If someone is upset because of an opinion I expressed on the internet, it's easy for them easier to find your employer and try to get you fired or create problems at your day job. Nobody needs that. They could harass your family. what was it? Patton Oswalt attacked James Rolfe, the AVGN, over 3 million subscribers, on Twitter. And people started harassing James's wife. And that was not okay. And I don't think I'll ever forgive Patton Oswalt for that. Not that he cares what I think. But that's just one example. So it's not that these things don't happen. And the thing is they always happen, and I mean, they can only happen to people who don't expect them. And so, it might seem a silly thing to think about starting out, but it's like, if I'm a giant success and, a millionaire one day and I got a mansion or something, a wife and a family, and I happen to say something that's misinterpreted on the internet and people want to hurt my family because of it, if they don't know my real name, then that's a lot harder to do. And so this isn't just for Connor, this is for anybody watching. I do recommend as much as possible to not use your real name. That's why we have channel names and pseudonyms and handles and nicknames. I go by a lot of different names on the internet. When I'm supporting the Mario Marathon, I'm known as Cowman. My travel channel is Vacation Impossible. Here I'm Small YouTubers Boost. So that's just like, I just really want to caution that. Also, going back to this channel description, you mentioned that you're 17 years old. I don't know if that's still true. I don't know how long your channel's been around. I'm going to look at that in a moment. But by putting your age in the description, it's going to require that you update that every year on your birthday. It's like, hey, it's my birthday. Got to update my channel description. I don't think somebody's going to remember to do that. It's probably going to get tedious after a point. That having been said, a 17-year-old angler that has a certain sort of like, hey, I'm young, but I've got these skills. And so there might be some uniqueness to that. So I'm not necessarily saying don't say it. It's just something to think about, how you want to manage that. And maybe at what point do you want to stop saying that? Because I joined YouTube in 2006, where I was and now I'm and that would have been a lot of updates, and things evolve. And so when I see channels tied to age, does that have longevity if it's all about your age? It's something like one of the things that I wonder about is I see all these couples channels, and in our Facebook group it drives me nuts because people think couples channels is a description. It's like, no, that just means there's two of you in the video, probably. But couples can play video games, couples can travel, couples can offer financial advice. The fact that you're a couples channel doesn't tell me what you're about. But the thing is, like, it's like, hey, here's a video of me and my boyfriend celebrating that we've been together for 3 months. And I'm like, and you've been doing most of that on the internet? What if it goes wrong? What if your channel takes off and the relationship doesn't? Yikes. So, like, tying your channel to something that might not have longevity, you could be investing tons of time, effort, and even money into something that might kind of go away one day. And so it's just something to consider. And hey, if it is about the fact that you're like a younger angler, that's cool. Just maybe in the back of your mind have the thought that, like, this is going to evolve. I won't always be able to be like this, especially if this turns into a multi-decade career for you. That's success, right? That's the busy restaurant. That's awesome. But that's why people who win the lottery end up poor, is they don't have a plan. And they have this set of, like, if they're the person who always says, oh, I'm so broke, maybe if I'll buy a lottery ticket, that'll save me. The mentality of, I'm always broke, when they have money, it will feel unnatural, or so argues Andrew Matthews, that they'll find a way to be broke again. And so that's something I think about. Like, if I take off, I don't want to end up, if I'm a one-time success, I don't want to blow everything I earn and end up back where I started. And if I'm a permanent success, I don't want to have, like, mo money, mo problems. And so that's part of why I'm just thinking about, like, so it's good to ask yourself the question every now and then. I mean, don't be obsessed and don't assume you'll be a success, but every now and then ask yourself, if I became successful overnight, what then? What next? How would I respond? Am I at all mentally prepared? Do I have a plan in my head? Like, everybody watching, ask yourself this. This might be my challenge at the end of the video. If I woke up tomorrow with 3 million subscribers, what then? What's my next step? What do I do? Something to think about. Let's dive into Connor's channel, because that was a not very Connor-specific rant. Okay, so let's see here. Again, the logo is kind of small, and in this case in the banner, a little fuzzy. The font on Carping with Connor is great. I like it. Keep that. No problem there. Subscribe for more. Yeah, that's okay. Wow, those are big, I'm going to say carps. The pictures of you holding giant fish, they make an impression. It's kind of sharp against the background image, and the background image I kind of like. I wish it was a little bit more in focus, but it's fine the way it is. But the contrast, I mean, you did a really good job of like cutting you out from the original background. That's pretty good. But it feels a little sharp. So it's like one trick that I use sometimes. In fact, if you look at my thumbnail, you know what? I'll just quickly show you. My most recent thumbnail. If you look here, where it says customize your channel layout, when I first put myself there, it was really like, it looked really sharp, like it was a really sharp distinction between my bald head and my, you know, background. And so I did a bit of a drop shadow to make it look a little smoother. It probably could be better than it is. I did something similar over here in the crossfade where I did like a blue drop shadow, which I'm not convinced is working for me there. But if you find yourself, and again, whether this is Connor or someone else, where it looks just like, it's very clearly cut out, and you want to blend it a little, you can use a blend option, or maybe a drop shadow might be another way. But sometimes you can go kind of crazy with it. One time, I used to have a blog on Friendster, if you can believe it, back in like 2008, something like that. During Barack Obama's first presidential run, I was writing a lot of political posts. I actually got picked up by the Huffington Post, and I was cited on Capital blogs and stuff. And the Huffington Post actually offered me a job, but they weren't going to pay me any money. Anyways, the banner that I had on that blog was a picture of me in a suit that I'd taken in Vegas. But I had done this crazy drop shadow thing where it almost looked like I had a halo around me, and so people thought I had died, and it was a memorial page. And I was like, oh, so that can be done too far. Like I said, I learned a lot by falling right on my face. But maybe something just to make it blend in a little bit more with the overall image, possibly. Let's check the social links. We've got some Instagram. Okay, that YouTube link, I think, is going to go to a video. We're getting, like, recursive here. Yeah, so that takes you to the Syndicate. That's kind of cool. Huh. Okay, I'm not supposed to watch videos, but that looked interesting. So that's kind of cool. You might want to... It says check out my channel, but the link is to a video. That's okay, but, you know, if you got a custom URL, and given how many subscribers... You've got 10,000 followers on Instagram. Wow. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be giving you a lot of advice here, because you're doing really well. This is kind of cool. I mean, yeah, looking at the fish makes some sense. But for your banner, I wonder if looking straight up, or so people can see more of your face. Like here it's in shadow, and here your eyes are covered by the brim of your hat. So, you know, in future pictures, maybe just considering that dimension of it to make sure that you're lit. And you're outdoors, so it's a little hard, possibly. You might want to get someone to hold one camera with a flash or a light on underneath you to light from underneath, as well as a secondary light source. And someone with a different camera to take the picture, maybe. I don't know, just some thoughts. But this is pretty good. You've also got TikTok linked here. Let's see what that looks like on desktop. I never go to TikTok on desktop. Wow, okay. Cool. Yeah, you got a link there. Looks again like a video. Cool. Okay. So, you got 2,000 subscribers. I'm curious, are you monetized? Because you could definitely have reached the subscriber threshold. For me, if anyone's curious, Vacation Impossible is monetized and has been monetized for several years, but this channel is not. I don't have the required watch time. So that's cool. I don't know if putting the name again here is necessary. You could probably just have the Instagram logo and the TikTok there. And again, like I was saying in the previous reviews, having social media presence on all platforms, even if you don't use them regularly, is fine. And the other thing is, I mean, like, let's go into the channel trailer for a second here, because I got the sense that that's what you were interested in, was maybe a little video advice. When we do the share button, look at that. You can share to Reddit pretty easily, right? And, okay, Reddit can be a scary place. Where can I share on Reddit? Well, I have put up, I've created a subreddit that is a safe place for you to share your videos. Small YouTubers Boost, and you can just share there. So sharing on Reddit is dirt easy, but you haven't done. And so you want to get more traffic? Share on Reddit. You can practice in the Small YouTubers Boost subreddit, but what you really want to do once you've learned the platform and how it works, because ours is like a sandbox, it's just a practice. You might get a little bit of traffic, but then you're going to want to go find subreddits that are friendly, and allow you to share your content and find an appropriate way to do that, you could find a whole new audience. There have been months where the majority of my traffic has come from Reddit. So that can be a real potential new source of audience for you. So you notice how I'm using my browser plugin with TubeBuddy, link down below. You can go get it for free. And I clicked here next to upvotes, and it took me to Reddit, and it searched for is your video shared anywhere, and it has not been. So that's one thing. But how can you find a friendly subreddit? Well, let's take a look. Let's say that we search carping. And okay, here's 174,000 views. Big old video, giant success. Okay, that wasn't shared on Reddit either. But look at this. Giant video, huge success, has not been shared on Reddit. So if you share yours on Reddit, then you have a small competitive advantage there. I just want to find one where they've actually shared it to Reddit and show you how you can find a friendly Reddit that way. Maybe people don't share this stuff. But again, that means that you could be operating without competition on that platform. The idea is that if it were shared, then you could use this to see where it was shared, and that might lead you to friendly subreddits where you might be able to share things. That was kind of where I was going with that. But that's something I can leave you to do on your own. So there we go. All right, I was going to go into this for a second and look at some things. This says you haven't added info cards. I love TubeBuddy, but they don't always get this right. But if that is accurate, adding info cards, you should do to every video. Chapters is a little tricky for something so short. So it's okay that you don't have that. This is maybe not the best example because it's the channel trailer. Let's go find a regular video. Let's go. And again, channel layout issues here. So you want popular uploads, especially since, as you were mentioning, some of your videos have kind of blown up. And do you have playlists? Channel trailers. Interesting that you've had that many channel trailers, the club leg. So again, every video needs to be in a playlist, and it's not hard to do. So you're going to want to make some playlists and find some themes. Let's see here. Okay, not really. And this isn't my area. I am not your target audience, so I'm not sure that I'm in a good place to kind of suggest playlists. So you don't have that many videos. More videos. You need to get more videos. Absolutely. It's been a month since you've had a video. That's fine. But again, if you can publish something once a week, then you're golden. If you can't, I understand. You can't always go fishing, and there's an off season and all that. So I can appreciate that. And so stay true to what your channel is about and you want it to be about. And this is a thing that's been faced by a lot of channels during the pandemic, is if your channel is about something you can't do during the pandemic, how do you continue to produce content? And so a lot of people have made different choices in this situation. Some have decided to just go on pause and focus on other things. I've done a bit of that myself. For much of 2020, I stopped focusing on Vacation Impossible and started focusing on Small YouTubers Boost, because that was something I could do during the pandemic, and a lot of people were asking for help then. Some people shifted their content and started making different things, and other people just filmed things at home that they could do. So, for example, it seems like you're a pretty successful carper, if that's the right word, I don't know. Fisherman? I don't know what you'd call yourself. But you're very successful at what you do, judging by the pictures. So one thing that you could do if you are having trouble finding and creating new content is maybe tip videos, where it could just be you at home saying, like, here's a lure that I recommend. You could even have a link to the lure on maybe an Amazon affiliate link and maybe make a little passive income that way. Or you could have story times, or you could, I don't know, react to your early pictures of catches or early videos. Like, there's different things you can do to create content, but don't do it just for the sake of doing it. If that is not what you want your channel to be about, if that is not, so like I've set rules for my channel so that it's about something, and that it sometimes rules are a good thing. Like on television shows, they have sometimes what they call a bottle show. It's where they don't have a lot of money because they spent a bunch on special effects in the previous episode, so they can only shoot on their existing sets and with not very many guest stars. But sometimes those are the best episodes because the restrictions force the writers to get really creative in telling a character-driven story. And so that can be somewhat similar. So sometimes having some restrictions and rules around your channel isn't a bad thing because it's part of the identity and the character of your channel. My example is my podcast. I have a podcast, an audio podcast called Vacation Impossible. You can find it on Spotify and iTunes and wherever fine podcasts are listened to. So feel free to check that out if you like the sound of my voice. I swear I don't talk quite as fast there. But I have some rules around that podcast. So we only ever record on location. So it would be against the rules of my podcast for me to just sit at home and record a podcast one day because I felt like it. I have to record on location. So I've recorded a lot on cruise ships. I've recorded in a lot of hotel rooms and things like that. And so the whole idea is like, hey, we're in the midst of a trip. Let me tell you all about it. And that's part of what it's about. It's part of its personality. So it's up to you to decide for yourself. And again, I'm speaking to everyone here, not just Connor, to decide like what are some boundaries for your channel. It's not a bad thing to have some boundaries because otherwise you have no shape if there are no boundaries, you could argue. So just something to think about in terms of like, yeah, there's ways to produce content there. So not a lot of videos to work with, which is tricky. But I mean, it's an accomplishment that you've done this well with so few videos getting quite a lot of subscribers here. You've got the community tab. That's another thing that you can do. You can post on the community tab. So if you are monetized, there was a policy shift recently with YouTube that might not be widely known. But basically, if you don't do anything with your channel for 6 months, you might stop being monetized, which would suck. Especially during a pandemic where people might have just decided to halt content. But one of the ways that you can reset that 6-month counter is just by posting on your community tab. And so if you've got a cool picture that you want to share, or if there's like, you could write like a blog post there almost, you could recommend another channel or a video that people could check out, or you could put up a poll and ask opinions for like, hey, what do you want to see our next video be about? Or, hey, we're looking at these 2 different locations to go carping. Which one should we do? Give your audience maybe some engagement that way. But anyways, and so that can help also with the algorithm, kind of keep the channel active. But also if you are monetized, it can kind of hit the reset on that. So just something to think about. And I think about like YouTubers who haven't uploaded in a very long time, and we're like, whatever happened to that person? And I used to kind of think like, well, they're probably still making some money off of it, so that's kind of cool. But now with this new 6-month thing, it's kind of like, ooh, they might not. Like, and what about legacy? Like, because the platform's been around long enough, there are YouTubers who have passed away through various means, and you think like, oh, well, at least their old videos are still maybe providing something for their family. But not with that thing. So this is one of the things I've kind of like mentioned to like my family is like, if something happens to me, you got to go do something with the channel every 6 months to keep that money coming in. So, a little bleak, but something to think about. And so, yeah, your description here, I've created this channel and you don't necessarily need the part. You can just say, I want to share my experience while out on the bank and up and down the country. But why do you want to share that? Do you want to entertain? Do you want to help other people be better at it? Do you want to show the fun that you can have, or how relaxing it could be, or if you can find a why that takes it one step further, that's cool. And so yeah, the description on the links here, and that's why it's showing up this way here. Instead, if you just wrote Instagram, because looking at it on your about page, you don't know what these 2 things are. Even hovering the mouse over the way the URL displays. Gotta go, yeah, like I gotta go 2/3 across the screen before I can find out what it actually links to. So the way your social links are set up could use a little bit of tweaking. Let's see here. Let's dive into... Let's see here. Okay, let's dive into this one. I'm just gonna pause it. Looks like an ad might be trying to run. No, that couldn't be because I'm on premium. I don't know what's trying to do. All right, so let's take a look here. Affiliated products mentioned in this video. Interesting. I do not own the rights to any of the music or soundtracks displayed in this video. I'll credit. Okay, so one thing that you might want to consider, there should be a link down below, is you might want to consider using something like Epidemic Sound. Instrumentals are sourced from Music Premium. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, if you need sound and music, sound effects and music, Epidemic's a great source. You can get 1 month free with the link below, and then I think it's like $12 a month or something thereafter. Just something if that's a challenge you're facing. But yeah, it's also interesting, like I wonder what kind of things you could be linking to in an affiliate capacity. So an affiliate link, in case you don't know, is where someone clicks on it, and if they buy something, you get something as well for referring them. So you might get a percentage, a very small percentage, all the way up to 50% of what they pay, or you might get a bounty, which would be like a set dollar amount. You might get $5, $10, $30 for the person. Sometimes that's even for signing up for something free. And there's different versions of that. So like one of the smallest percentage options is Amazon, admittedly, but also it's a giant platform. So something that you might want to consider as an option for some monetization. I just want to see here. So in your title, you have the syndicate, and you have the syndicate here. So there's some keyword alignment there. Carp fishing, though, with the hyphen, I don't think appears in your description. Let me just do a... Yeah. Okay. So you might want to consider having this carp hyphen fishing in your description somewhere. As part of like a natural sentence would be a good idea. I'm not sure exactly what the syndicate refers to. It's kind of a cool name, but it can mean a lot of things. The Syndicate Diary series. Maybe that's just what you've called it. It's not great from an SEO perspective because it's not descriptive, and there's a lot of what is it, gangster movies and James Bond type stuff where syndicate is a thing. So that's really hard to score well against. So I'm not sure about the syndicate thing, if that's just a name you've come up with. If it's something more than that, then it might be worthwhile. I don't know. But I noticed that it's in your title and it's in your description, but it's not in your tags, I don't think. And again, carp-fishing doesn't appear here either. And the mirror with that line part 1, this tag I would remove. I don't think that's doing anything for you. A lot of the other stuff you've got here is pretty good. How to set up a rod, Liam Moods. Yeah, most of the other stuff is good. This one tag here, though, is not performing for you. So I'd take that out and replace it with this carp-fishing. That's something I would do. Looks like you haven't shared this on Facebook. So you can, with the description, share it in the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group if you want, facebook.com/groups/Small YouTubers Boost. However, it would be even more effective if you found groups where this kind of content is welcome and shared, fishing, carping groups. Maybe you could share it there. Similarly on Twitter, let's see, has anyone ever tweeted about this video? A little slow here. No, they have not. So there's a lot of social sharing opportunities, I think, here that are not yet being taken. Facebook, Reddit, Twitter. And I think the SEO could be a little bit improved, as I was talking about with the tags and stuff. This is a 14-minute video. Chapters might be a good idea to add. If, for example, you spend some time talking about how to set up a rod, if you talk about boots and stuff, you could identify those. For how to set up chapters, it's dirt simple. In the description, you just write 00:00 space, and then what you want the first one to do, and go from there, and it will pick it up and automatically do it. If you want examples, you can check any of the longer videos recently up on Vacation Impossible or Small YouTubers Boost. I do it pretty consistently there. And that's my 30 minutes. Going back to chat. Let's see. We've been live for nearly 2 hours. That's exciting. That was a long one. I like it. Let's see. Just want to... Okay, here we go. Ray Cuddles YouTube. That's where I left off. Everyone thumbs up the stream. Please and thank you. That would be amazing. Hey, Achilles Melee is here. I think he was here in time for me to say nice things about him, which is fantastic. Actually, it might have been after I said nice things about him, but he's nice, so check him out. He's a good guy. He goes in order, so there's probably somebody ahead of you. Probably sadly true. There we go. Yeah, okay, so now that he's a mod, Stupid Robot Fighting League can share links. And there's the video. Thanks for that. That's awesome. I think I can even pin the message. Boom! Awesome. Thanks for that. And there it is. Ah, cool. It was a sponsored video. That's sponsored's cool. That's nice. And I understand that with sponsored videos, sometimes your hands are a little bit tied because the sponsor might want you to do very specific things, and that is totally fine. I've had to do so myself in a good way. TUBEBUDDY is great. Yes, it is. No welcome to. Yeah, it's the welcome to rant. Watch out. I lost. It auto-scrolled on me again. TUBEBUDDY does not help your surfing technique. No, it is digital. It is not a real world thing. You can't really hold it. Although I got the mug. So I guess it can be a physical thing, but doesn't necessarily help your surfing technique. I have what Americans call a beanie, what Canadians call a toque from TUBEBUDDY as well. So I suppose you could wear that while surfing. I don't think you'd want to. I don't think it would help. But I have some shorts on this channel where I actually wear the toque, and I think they gave me some other merch too that I wanted to do some videos on. What I wanted to do was take it to like Alaska and stuff like that, and then record some small YouTuber tip videos in Alaska, just because I thought it'd be fun. And it'd be like, hey, I'm on vacation in Alaska and I'm making money off my YouTube channel looking at a glacier. And so use this tool to do the same, something like that. I might do that one day. Is a thought. Let's see here. Remove your last name. It's just safer. Yeah, I went on an epic rant about that. Not wanting to call anybody out, but I want to protect people. Woohoo! I'm a mod. Gonna ban myself. See, this is why I'm careful about what I give John in terms of authority. This is great advice. I'll make the changes now. Awesome. I hope it does really well for you. I think there's a lot of potential for your channel. I think this could really take off for you, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So come back to a future live stream and let us know. If you're not in the Facebook group, join it. Let us know. Share your milestones. Get the TUBEBUDDY app. They give you free milestones you can share. That's something you can also put on your community tab, as well as when you hit view milestones or subscriber milestones or upload milestones, which I really respect the upload milestones because that's a sign of the work you've put in more than anything else. And so that's one of those ways you can use that community tab to stay engaged with your audience. Ace of Vegas does that very effectively. So that's cool. And please remember me when you're famous. If anyone ever wants to record a testimonial video about how something about Small YouTubers Boost has helped you, I have been told that would be a good idea to collect some of those, and so that would be quite nice if anyone finds the time. There is no ban feature in YouTube chat. I wish there was. The ban is hide user. Okay, good to know. I'm still learning some of this stuff myself about the live streaming. Live streaming hasn't really been my focus. Can we remove my own You can remove other comments too. Ray R is your pirate name. Rawr. Or is that my lion name? My cat name? Because wouldn't my pirate name be Yar? Wouldn't it be like in reverse? I wanted to see if I banned myself. I created the channel a while back in 2017 and then started to upload. That's cool. And again, I created Vacation Impossible as a channel in 2006. I didn't upload my first video until 2008, even though I had been filming since 2001. But like sometimes having that 2006, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's bite me in the butt a little bit. Like people see that and they're like, wow, you're OG, you've been around for a while. And I'm like, yes. But then other people are like, oh, you've got not quite 1 million views in like 15 years, you suck. Someone in the group recently was saying that. And I'm like, okay, thanks for taking time out of your day to put me down. But, and the thing is, like, I haven't been taking YouTube seriously until like 2016. Up until that point, I was just screwing around. So, there's different things, but I believe that the positives outweigh the negatives. And so having like an older creation date is better. I think it gives you credibility in the community. And again, helps you control your brand and show that you're the authentic, real deal. You were there first. So people pretending to be you will obviously be imposters. And I probably sound paranoid about that imposter thing, but it's happened to Small YouTubers Boost. I've had to get a couple of Facebook groups shut down because they pretended to be my group. It got so bad that I was getting flooded with messages, people complaining about the behavior of the people in those other groups, including the mods and admins. And they're like, this group of yours sucks. And I'm like, that's not my group. They stole my name. But I shut them down. I wonder if I could run Insta channel and just hold the same fish. Friendster, you're dating yourself. Yep, I'm old school. I'm OG. I don't lie about that. Yeah, no, and it's funny because I have a download of that blog, and it's funny because like every now and then people will still reference things that I wrote in that blog so long ago. Like I wrote an article or a post called "The Hierarchy of Sorrows." People still mention that to me today. There was one that I wrote called "The Impossible Building." People still mention that today. There was another one that came up recently. So I don't know. I really enjoy writing, but I struggle to find the time for it. I write some things on Patreon. Normally they're like bad and kind of off-color, inappropriate jokes. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I should do more writing. Fix the Instagram link. Forgot to change it in the custom URL. Cool. Ray's good for spotting stuff like that and having a beard. Message retracted. Don't know what. There's not a huge community on Reddit, but yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I can create a community. Yes. Good thinking, Connor. I like it. I like it. Go conquer the world and remember your buddy Ray. Some great advice. Yeah, Achilles. Rawr. Totally pirate. Tangent topic real quick. If anyone in Louisiana, do be careful. Hurricane Ida is wreaking havoc. Yeah, I haven't checked in the news today. It's funny, though, because, I mean, obviously since the earthquake I was in 2020, which is how I started my 2020, you can go watch a video all about me being caught in an earthquake on Vacation Impossible. I've been checking the news very regularly because you got to stay on top of the news these days because there's a lot of stuff out there trying to kill you. And so, yeah, people in Louisiana and Ida's hitting on the anniversary of Katrina, which, I mean, it kind of makes sense because these things are seasonal. It's just, thoughts and prayers go out, and I know that that's not worth much, but do stay safe. And the news can be overwhelming in its negativity sometimes, and so if I can provide a place where we can maybe focus on positive things too, happy to do it. I'm on the in-crowd on Ray's Patreon. Yes. I haven't offended him enough to get rid of him yet. And I don't want to. All right, let's see here. Who is next? I think it was the guy with the Canucks logo, but I'm not sure. Let me just check. Yeah. Renegade95 said I can skip his channel review, but mixed feelings. I feel bad. But James Gipe says thumbs up, so thank you for the thumbs up. I guess I'll skip the channel review because he told me to. I assume it's a he. I think it is. We talked about his logo in the Facebook group. AIDS, ADZE, not sure if I'm saying that right. Ads, I don't know. There's still time when you're caught up. I'd appreciate a channel review. Cool. Really hope still to get to Steel Cranium, but Steel Cranium is next after this one. So fingers crossed. Let's start the 30-minute clock. Let's go see if we can find this channel. The channel name is only 4 characters. This might be a bit of a hunt. How to use whatever that is. Well, it seems like it's some kind of a tool. Analogous to an axe. Okay, it's that kind of those sorts of thingies. Sure, I'm not very handy in that regard. Okay, we have... Oh my god, this goes on. Wow. Okay, this channel name is problematic. I just want to know how many... This won't be a perfect count because I'm going to Control F it, and it might also pick up descriptions and things where it's not just that, but I just want to know how many. I gotta know. I'm like a man possessed now. This is a forever scroll. I'm going to grow old and die out here. Come on. Stop giving me results, which is a weird thing to hope for. I hate forever scrolls. I'm in a hell of my own making. This is purgatory. Make it stop. No more results, at long last. All right, okay. So made it to the end. 213 channels with this name, either as the whole name, or in the description, or as part of the channel name. I hate to say it, not a great name for a channel. And yet, TubeBuddy directly contradicts me live on stream, as it has done in the past, by scoring it as an excellent and a 92, saying that the search volume is excellent and the competition is good. So perhaps I don't know what I'm talking about there. Although, I just realized this... Oh, no, it's unweighted. Unweighted is correct. Okay. I'll say a couple things, though, about the channel name. It looks like it's your name or your character's name. Either is fine. But the name itself doesn't tell me anything about the channel, and so its SEO value, despite what TubeBuddy is saying, I think is somewhat limited. And so it says video essayist. So if you added, AIDS or however you say that name, video essayist as the full channel name, I don't know. I mean, should I I'll have a disagreement with TubeBuddy. Let's do it. Let's see if TubeBuddy agrees with me. So for that, it scores in the Keyword Explorer. Oh, weighted. That's for my channel. Let me do unweighted. Unweighted, it's a 92. Now, not a lot of room to get better. Video essayist. Did I spell that right? Only a 46. Well, what do I know? I don't know. Something to think about. Make your own decisions. Unclear. The picture here is interesting. It's sort of the... It's like anime, but also like a cross of like a Hergé Tintin era sort of art style, which is kind of interesting. To me, it evokes thoughts of maybe steampunk or the art style in some board games and the occasional video game. A little bit reminiscent of like Bravely Default type stuff. So that's interesting. So you got 2,700 subscribers. So you got more subscribers than I do. 70 videos, pretty good. Hi all. No. Please no. Stop it. Take it away. Don't say... You can say it in your video. Scott the Waz, who I enjoy, although I haven't been watching him lately because I got a little tired of his stuff. I guess I watched too much. But, he was all like, hi all, Scott here. Or hey all, Scott here, was how he would begin every video. That's fine verbally. It can be a consistent thing. I always enjoy that. In episodes where he's all like, it's like, hey, Scott, all here, or something like, because he's kind of kerfuffled because something's happened. And so that's like the funny, exception and stuff. That can be fine in video. In text, it doesn't work. It adds no value. Conversationally, it's great. No SEO value. Doesn't explain what you're about at all. Cut it. You're wasting the most valuable character space in your channel description. Please don't do that. I'm AIDS. Well, okay. I mean, that's the name of the channel, so presumably it would be your name, but apparently it's also the name of a tool, so okay, I guess that's fine. And I'm a video essayist. I love playing video games and reading visual novels. Like, okay, so I guess the video essays are on video games and visual novels. Presumably. It's almost like, yeah, I'm AIDS, the video essayist. Could be your first sentence. That would take a little less characters, give you a little bit more room to entice people in the rest. And then kind of go from there. I'm kind of curious. So, yeah, let's dive in. See what's what. Got your channel trailer there. Cool. Writer, gamer, nerd. Andrew wrote... Oh, you're in our Facebook group, right? I think I recognize this name. I think you're relatively active in our Facebook group, if I'm not mistaken. But again, couple things going on here. First, just from a consistent, I have OCD tendencies, but not actual OCD. You have the period after writer and gamer, but not after nerd. The inconsistency there is a little weird for me. I would add the period there. And also your channel name is, I really don't know how to say that. AIDS, something. Adsy? I don't know. But then up here, it looks like it's your first and last name. So as per my earlier rant, I recommend not using your first and last name in its entirety, if you can avoid it. And also it's just inconsistent because your channel name does not appear in your channel banner. So it looks like that is a banner from another channel. Possibly. That could be one interpretation of that. So that's kind of interesting. Got a link to Twitter here. Let's check it out. Okay. Yeah. So well, that kind of explains it. Andrew. And I still don't know how to say that. Nerdy video essayist who likes to talk about video games and visual novels. This looks like a link to a video. We're kind of doing recursive linking again here. No, it goes back to your channel. It goes back to your channel. Oh, yeah, no, it's not a... never mind. I thought it was a certain kind of short link, but it wasn't. All right, cool. No, that makes perfect sense. Of course it goes to your channel. It's just the characters. It's interesting that it had... Oh, I presume you had to add the YT because I'm guessing there was already a channel. One of those 215 others? No. Dude, see if you can change it to remove the YT, possibly. I mean, if you've got a bunch of links out there, maybe you don't want to. But the tighter the link, the better. There's value in having, needing fewer characters. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm going to... Let me think about this here. I want to do a thing, but I want to be careful not to violate my own privacy. I want to switch my Twitter account. Over to... Oh, is it really going to make me do all this? Careful, Icarus. Don't accidentally share your password. Be very careful. Just bear with me a second here. Also, if you want to find us on Twitter, we are YouTubers_boost because they have a character limit like it's the old school internet. All right, yes. Not broadcasting any of that, am I? No, good, good, good. All right, did it like a boss. Now let's go back to Twitter. Because I want to click like on this tweet from Small YouTubers Boost. There we go. So this is interesting because here we see that in February of 2020, this channel was at 69 subscribers. Nice, by the way. And now it's at 2,700. So that is an impressive rate of growth. So well done there. I see that the growth isn't necessarily corresponding on Twitter, where there are 70 followers, but that's fine. Can't, win all battles on all fronts. That's totally normal. It's important to focus. But again, thinking about, do you want to have your real name out there in the world? There is some risk to that. And again, it's brand confusion. What do you want to be known as? Is something to consider. But that's something for you to decide for yourself. Let's check your Patreon link. Interesting. $1, $5, and $10. Interesting. I have a couple options on mine. Here's what you get at the $1 level. Your name and text crawl at the end of every video. Okay, yeah. During the editing process. Personal blessing. Ooh, don't block ads. Don't block ads! No! Stop looking at that. And then I'm guessing this is a website. No, it's Twitch. Twitch should logo up. Okay, let's check that. Something's wrong with that URL, I think. Okay, so for the Twitch URL, you need to add the https:// when you set it up. Because that's how you've done it for your Patreon and your Twitter, but not your Twitch. And you'll notice that it pulls the Twitter icon and the Patreon icon, but it is not pulling the Twitch icon. So if you go in and you just add the https:// to that link, then you'll get the Twitch icon there, which people are way more likely to click on than some blue planet they are not familiar with. And especially since you are a gamer, that is something to consider. Actually, you know what? I'm a little curious. 37 followers on Twitch. And so, I mean, Twitch is another way of monetizing your channel, your content, and stuff like that. So if you can drive a little bit more traffic over there and get yourself monetized and get bits and things and subscribers and followers and all that fun stuff, that's that could be another platform on which you can win. So let's take a peek here. You got popular uploads. You've got uploads. So that's cool. The evolution of video games. So, while this is a very interesting subject, there's a couple of things I would mention. One, this playlist does not have a description. Every playlist... Well, actually, let's take it a step back. Every video should be in a playlist. Every playlist needs a description. So, I would go in, and I showed earlier in this live stream where you can go into edit your playlists and add a description. Also, since this playlist only has 3 videos, I don't think it's ready for your homepage yet. This is not yet ready for prime time. Worth Your Money review series. If this is about video games specifically, then it could be are these video games worth your money? Are these games worth your money? Something like that. Worth your money on its own is not as valuable for SEO because it's so broad, and as well, it could be like wait a minute, are you talking about investing suddenly? Because like some channels do that. And they'll be like a gamer, and suddenly they'll just discover passive income. And then they'll do a series of videos on like the Robinhood app or some other thing. I don't think that's what you're doing here at all. The playlists and the thumbnails and the titles don't suggest that. Worth your money. Oh, I guess that's the name of like the thing. Like maybe you call it worth your money. So, okay. So, I mean, if you've got that embedded in those videos as part of what you say in the graphics, maybe you don't want to change it because it's almost like you're locked into that branding. I don't know, but it was just something to think about. Let's take a look at your playlist, see if we can find some other playlists. Battle Chasers, whatever that is, that could go on your homepage. Visual novel opinions and commentary, that I think would set you apart from other gamers and stuff, even if it is a slightly broadening of the category. Gaming opinions and and commentary. So I would remove the playlist that I mentioned, as interesting as it is, the evolution of video games, that's not ready for your homepage. Remove that and then put in Battle Chasers, visual novel opinions, and gaming opinions. And I'd put Battle Chasers at the bottom, probably. Yeah, I'm not sure which of these two higher up. See what gets more views and put that one higher up, would be my thought. In terms of the videos, not necessarily the playlist, because you can't compare a 36 video playlist to an 8 video playlist. But yeah. That's something to think about there. Got your community tab. What are you doing here? You see, this is the kind of stuff you can do on your community tab, folks. You can link to your Patreon, and it can be hyperlinked. You can upload pictures. You can write stuff, little blog entry type things. So that's pretty cool. You can share screenshots. Here's a poll. Oh, I just like voting in polls. I've seen people put that. I think Roberto Blake does that, or like some TV thing. I'm not sure. Just show me the poll results. I like that. That's kind of cool. I was hoping I could find a poll I could vote in, but I just don't know enough to have an opinion about these. Cool. No, I mean, I think you're doing a good job of using the community tab. The most recent post was 4 days ago, so that's pretty cool. Not fan of the word content. If you're a video essayist, you could say I've already put out a lot of video essays. Something like that. Content, limited SEO, a little jargony for the audience. But that's yeah, it's pretty good. Again, if you can put in the why, sometimes it can be hard to understand the full story behind a video game or a visual novel. I try to make it easier for you. Something like that. Or, I find I enjoy games more the more I know about them, so I want to share what I've discovered with you. Or something like that. Something that speaks a bit to a why is a third paragraph here, or maybe even a second, might be a good thing. 400,000 views, not bad, not bad. Let's go back to the home page. We haven't done any Channelytics yet today. Again, this is a TubeBuddy function with the browser plugin, and you get it with the free version. It doesn't cost a dime. So let's see here. Channel keywords: gaming, video games, reviews, visual novels, video essays, the name, and game review. So you could probably add more to this. You could add some more channel keywords. You're doing some Stardew Valley stuff here. I think the evolution of video games was an interesting subject. Evolution of Ninja Gaiden, cool. What games are worth your money? Something like that might be an interesting channel keyword. So that's a thought. Let's see here. It's interesting. Some of our view trends have some similarities here and here. So in the last 30 days, your best day for views was August 12th. Why do you want to bet you put out a video that day? Interesting. Not as strong a subscriber day for you, despite the view strength, which is interesting. And yep, there we go. You had a video upload that day. So that would have been your probably second to last video you uploaded. So this one looks like it did fairly well for you. But you'll notice, and this is interesting, so this video that I'm talking about here only got 695 views, but the channel spiked that day. What's that all about? This is a thing that I've observed for years, is very consistent in my experience, is that when you put out a new video, even if that video doesn't do gangbusters, it helps, having a new video out helps the rest of your channel as well. It is super consistent in my experience on Vacation Impossible. I can put out a new video that will fall flat on its face and get like 16 views, and my other videos will start to do better because my channel is active. It is a micro boost in the algorithm. It's showing them that I am an active creator. And so they're a little bit more likely to show my back catalog. And so that's why putting out a new video every week, if you can, really juices that algorithm in that particular way. Running a little low on steam, but I'm going to keep going because I want to do at least that one more channel review for the person who wants to travel. So, was this playing? Whoopsies. But the sound should be off, so that should be fine. Okay. Let's see. Most popular. From 8 months ago, the evolution of this person I don't know. Interesting. And so, some interesting things here. Mad respect for the captioning. You've done caption. This is an hour and 11 minutes and you captioned that video. That is a, like, mad respect to you for doing that. 40-minute caption video. Like, when it gets more than 4 minutes captioning a video, I just, I force myself to do it sometimes. I should do it more, but wow. And so, mad respect for that captioning, because, and for other people watching, if someone is in a crowded place where they don't have earbuds and they don't want to be an a-hole, then they're going to want to watch something with the sound off and captions on. And so, if captions not an option, then they might move on to something else. They might not click on it at all, or they might you might just get very little watch time once they realize that there's a caption. Then they click off, and your attention eats the floor. As well, there are hearing impaired people who can still enjoy video games and travel and all sorts of other things and create YouTube channels. So having captions for them. In my experience, captioning a video increases the viewership between 8 and 11%. So it's worth doing, but it can be tedious. My trick is publish the video and then check in to see once the auto captions have been done, and then just edit them and correct the errors. That way you're not typing everything. But even then, it can be very tedious work. So mad respect for captioning videos of that length. So let's actually look at something more recent. Let's go into this thing. One of the worth your money videos. Okay, you've got chapters here, which I respect. Photosensitivity warning. Good thing I paused that. I like that. That's good. Okay, yeah, there's some things we can do here. So I'm going to guess that you are maybe using Firefox, because one thing I've noticed is when I upload and I use Firefox, and I don't really ever, and so maybe it's consistent, maybe it's not just Firefox, but I get these extra breaks in here and they upset me. And so what I go in is immediately after publishing the video, I go in and I go back to edit, and then I remove all these blank lines so that everything's the way I want it to look, and then I click save, and then it saves it and keeps it then. So that's something there. But good job on the chapters. That's good. For people who don't know, this is how chapters can be done. Super easy. But also, like, this kind of stuff can help with your SEO, believe it or not. Not just helping people navigate. And also, some search engines pull the chapters as well. And so if they're looking and thinking your video answers a particular question, that might actually have that chapter in the search engine as the sort of recommended answer. So chapters are a really good thing to do, so it's good that you've gone and done that. TubeBuddy is saying that you don't have info cards, but that's not always true. That's not always accurate with TubeBuddy, unfortunately. It's like the one thing that's not great. So if you don't have info cards, I do recommend it. Because that can help if one of the tricks is look at your retention, and if you see a big drop off, put an info card shortly before that, and then people watching on desktop might just click and watch your other video instead of going completely away from your channel. So that's or if you're referring to resources, other videos you've made, things like other games that maybe you've covered, good opportunities to put those info cards up for people to go and click on those resources rather than hunting for them. Looks like it hasn't been shared on Facebook. You can go with a description, share in the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Small YouTubers Boost. But that's largely if you want, feedback and stuff. If you really want to, you want to go find groups that are on the subject of this that allow that kind of sharing. That's where you can really drive some traffic. And similar with Reddit. Oh, I'd already clicked this. Yeah, so it hasn't been shared on Reddit. You might want to go and find a friendly place on Reddit to share. And have you shared it on Twitter? You have, right, because you had that Twitter account that we saw. So that's good. But yeah, you might want to go try and find a friendly subreddit and maybe post in a group or two, get some of those likes, because the information gets pulled in and it's a source. Let me see here. Now, your tags you haven't put a lot of effort into the tags here, if you don't mind me saying, just because there's not a lot of them, and you should max out your tags. I know YouTube says tags aren't so important, and I don't believe them. I believe everything YouTube says except this. My experience has not lined up with what they say. It's not just about typos and stuff, and it's not minimal impact. It's still, for me, a pretty big impact. Not as big as it used to be, but it still has a big impact. For one thing, YouTube can talk about the tags being relevant to them, but there's more than just them. There's search engines out there, and it's not just Google. Bing is still a thing. DuckDuckGo is a thing. That is a search engine for people who don't want their private information tracked and sold. And there's the other things out there, various search engines and stuff, and they may or may not be pulling from those tags. So it's more than just YouTube where this is relevant. And even on YouTube, I think it is relevant. And so, for example, you do not have Beat Souls Review as a tag. And that, at the very least, should be a tag in here. Bare minimum. But max out those tags. If you're having trouble coming up with tags, get TUBEBUDDY. The free version will suggest 3. It's 3 more than you had before. And if you want to get the paid version, then it can give you more and more and more, depending on the tier that you go up to. And so I do recommend doing that. Let's see here. Yeah, total tag characters is low. That's why that score is low. So we're in agreement on that. So I link to the game. You got your Patreon. Product received for free from the developer. Cool. Affiliate link for the Humble Bundle. Oh, and your email address appears to have your name in it too. Okay. Might want to consider something else for that. You got your 3 tags there, which is good. None of the... I don't know that you need this disclaimer. I don't know that it actually gets you anything. When you upload a video, you can select if it's made for children or not. That's what they look at. I don't think they'll ever look at this for any kind of decision making, so I don't know that that's a good use of space. I don't think it's hurting any, but just something to think about. And of course, as much as possible, you want to try and reply to every comment. Keep those engagements happening. And again, sneaky engagement SEO hack is if you can find a way to work part of your title or description into the comment reply. So muse-but sideways. I don't know what that means, but if it's talking about in the game, it'd be like, yeah, in Beat Souls, this is a good strategy, or it's a cool move you can do, or whatever. Like if you can actually work the game title into the comment in your reply, or it's like, yeah, the muse dash is totally part of what makes this worth your money. Like it might not have a huge impact, but as small YouTubers, we need to get every little thing we can to get our leg up. We need to take every shot on net, every swing of the bat, swing at every ball that we can. And so that's some of the ways that we can do that. So that, some stuff there. Let's go back to the channel. Channel trailer is a little on the long side, coming in at just under 3 minutes, but depending on what it is that the channel trailer is about, if it keeps it engaged, if it talks about the different things that you do, if you have a lot of different programs like the Worth Your Money and the Evolution of Gaming and things like that, you might want to take time for each of those to explain a little bit of what they're about. So 3 minutes could very well be appropriate. Again, maybe take the welcome out of the beginning of the description. Ads primarily focus on video essays and reviews about video games and visual novels. Try to be detailed, yet still approachable. Approachable is an interesting word to use. I don't know that approachable applies in this situation. Approachable is something that you are in person, and that's fine, unless you're having appearances at conventions and things, at events. Then I don't know approachable is quite right. Like, I try to be detailed, yet still... accessible is not the word either. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that, like, a casual person can still enjoy watching this. And that I'm not going to bore you to death with details and stuff like that. Like, you'll get the details, but it's still engaging, entertaining maybe? I don't know. I don't know that approachable is the best word there. I want the average person to understand the things I say and to share in my love. Yeah, you could say the average person... how can I put that? Because rather than making it a I want statement, I'm almost thinking like make it a declarative statement. From the... you could say something like from the fanatical fan to the casual gamer, everyone... can have something to discover and learn from these essays, or something like that, or whether you're a rabid fan or an average casual player, share in the love of games and stories with us, something like that. Maybe a little bit more declarative, a positive. Because if you say like I want people to understand me, people are going to be kind of like, so people have trouble understanding you. They kind of would pivot to the negative, possibly. But if instead you make it a declarative and one that clearly welcomes people of everywhere on the spectrum of experience, I think that might be a little bit better. I hope you'll enjoy me as I seek to truly understand what it is that makes a great game or a great visual novel tick. You can say something like, we do a deep dive to truly understand what it is. Something like that. I hope you'll join me as I seek. Again, I don't know, because the thing is, if right out the top you're making it about you and they don't know who you are yet or what your value is, then I don't know that that's the best proposition. If you focus on the game, the visual novel, the deeper understanding and appreciation and enjoyment, maybe that you could work into that might be a little bit better. I'm nitpicking here a little, but your channel's pretty good, so I don't have a lot of the sort of like the basic rants, and I'm trying not to retread the same ground, and I've done quite a few reviews today, so that's part of why it might seem like I'm being a little picky here, but I'm just thinking some things might make a slight improvement. And getting back to the banner, I mean, it's a nice clean design, but maybe having some sort of graphic element might not be a bad thing because it's just text on gray. So minimalist can be cool, but I don't know, maybe a little something like if you don't have the name there, maybe if you have some version of this character that you can put in that would look all right, and then like ads or something, or something like that, might be something to think about. Let's see. And I guess like the obvious challenge is in terms of niching down that you're covering graphic novels as well as video games. Now those are adjacent to each other, and there is a big overlap, I think, in the Venn diagram. And so... but the algorithm might not appreciate that because it might get a little confused going between those two topics that it might view as distinct. And I've had that problem. Like my travel channel, I cover all kinds of travel, but I do better when I have a period where I focus on cruising specifically. If I go from cruising and then pivot to road trip, I don't get recommended nearly as much. I don't do as well in search and discovery. And so one thing to think about is the Venn diagram where the graphic novels have video games for them as well. You may have already thought of this. Maybe that's already what you do. But that might be the sweet spot possibly to think about and focus on potentially. I don't know. Ultimately, it's your decision, of course. Let me just get caught up on chat because that was that review. We'll do one more review. Just trying to get caught up on where I dropped off in chat here. Let's see. Yeah, Super Robot Fighting League saying he's on the in crowd on my Patreon. I sometimes talk about YouTube on Patreon as well. People talking about the cost of Canva. It's interesting. Free version, paid version. Use the paid version or the free version for 5 years. Wow. I have a video premiering and I did a gamer banner. It's been my online moniker since long before I started YouTube. Kind of stuck with it at this point. Yeah, me and the cowman thing too, let me tell you. I tried to change it on my 25th birthday. My friends and family sat me down, had an intervention, and said, no, you can't change your name. Everyone knows you as cowman. It's like, oh my god. And so I'm stuck with this Hotmail email address, and it's like, oh, you know what? I'm stuck with it, so make the best of it. I feel you there. Yeah, adds games, adds reviews maybe? I don't know. Commissioning a new one. Cool. Yes, I'm in the groups. Noticed me. There's a period at the end of Nerd on the Twitter page. Oh, interesting. Didn't notice that. You blew his mind. It's not hard to do with this mind. Not to take away from the accomplishment or anything. I want to hit 100 subs, but it wouldn't let me. Oh, that's too bad. That's a custom URL. Yeah, because it does, like, often it gives you like 3 or 4 to choose from, and I think you have the ability to type one in, and then it doesn't always accept it. Need your credit card number and a code asking for a friend. I hope you get to mine. You're next. You're going to be the last one, Steel Cranium. I'm going to copy your name right now so I have it ready to go. Playlist description. Great spot for SEO keywords. Absolutely. Game's worth your money. Yeah. Question. How many total playlists do you recommend featuring? Yeah, that's a fair question. I'd say 3 to 5 is pretty good. You want it to feel fully complete and filled out, but you don't want it to be that forever scroll. And because the thing is, and this is interesting, one of the things of great value on the internet is content creators, but another thing of great value on the internet is content curators. These are, Lad Bible and back in the day E-Bombs World, and like a lot of these are, like, E-Bombs World is really bad for violating copyright and stealing content. But, there's different ones out there, and despite how bad some of them are for doing that kind of nonsense, they still do very well, unfortunately. But some do it right, where they give credit. I think Fail Army does an okay job of that, if I'm not mistaken. I think they pay people or they credit them or something. And so the reason I'm mentioning that is if you can do both, if you can create the content, but also curate it, collect it, display it in an organized, effective, pleasing way, then that gives you a big leg up, I think. And so that's why I'd say 3 to 5 playlists, and then on top of that, the uploads and popular uploads. So total would be 5 to 7. In terms of what people see. And at the very top, you'd have your channel trailer and or featured, depending on if they're subscribed or not, video. That, to me, is a full channel layout. So, yeah, simple question, simple answer. Stream of VODs. I keep them unlisted, but in public playlists. Okay, fair enough. Maybe that's not for the homepage then. To crowd out my high-effort stuff. And that's exactly it. That's part of curation right there. It's acknowledging what resonates with an audience, what you want them to see, having decisions about what you're about. Who will be the last? The last channel review is going to be Steel Cranium, just because I am running out of steam. I'll still do some questions and stuff afterwards. We can have a conversation, but I think that'd be like my 6th channel review or something for the day. That's quite a bit. Lawrence video also had a high day 1 engagement, so that might have helped with the algorithm stuff. Yep. And if we're talking comments, remember, reply to all the comments. Even the hate comments. I had a video on this channel about, I forget what it was, how I phrased it. But it was something like, killing the haters with kindness or something like that, where I talk about, like, even the people who give you crap, if you respond politely or funny, then, for one thing, the trolls always come back for more, so that's more views, watch time, and engagement. But also, if you respond to people who are losing their minds, but you stay calm and keep your sense of humor about it, and actually I have a short on this channel I put out just recently about how you want to, 2 ways of like not failing at something is don't make it all about you and keep your sense of humor. Keep that in mind when responding to hate comments, because it's not just the troll that will see them, it's your other audience members who might happen to be going through the comments. And so don't just attack back. You could provide additional information, or you can needle them a little bit. Like, if you can't think of anything, I always say something like, always great to meet a fan. And then they'll come back, I'm not a fan, you moron. And I'm like, but you keep coming back for more. It's great to have you here, or something like that. Kill them with kindness. A little Taming of the Shrew for you there. 10 Things I Hate About You, if you want a more modern reference. Although that's not exactly modern anymore, but still. And that drives the engagement. And that will, one of the things I say is, like, I'm grinding up the trolls and using them for energy. And so that's something to think about. Captions are very easy when you have a script. Yes. Good point. But then you get my respect for scripting your videos, because that takes work too. Every time a video of mine falls flat, it's the one I thought would do amazing. Oh my gosh, Aiden and Dad, you were like, yes. That seems so often I make a video and I'm like, this is trash. I'm a little embarrassed about making it. Like, I have a video on Vacation Impossible where I talk about, if you've ever been driving down a highway on a hot day and it looks like there's water on the highway, but there's not. I made a really short video talking about that optical illusion. And in my opinion, the production value on that video was trash. And it was only tangentially related to travel. And every now and then, it just gets tons of views for, like, no reason. But meanwhile, I did something like, I did this motivation video about, like, why I travel and all this, like, I thought it was going to be, like, a big, you know, motivating, ringing, you know, like, rally the troops, everyone get excited, and it'd have a lot of comments, and it got, like, 30 views and was never seen again. So that's often the way it goes. And that's the thing, is, like, we just got to keep hitting that bat, swinging, you know, hitting that ball, swinging that bat, whatever metaphor you want to choose. What was the Wayne Gretzky quote? You miss 100% of the shots you never take. And so you never know what's going to take off. I did a review of a soda called Lemonade when I was in Portland in like 2011 or something. And it got picked up. 3 years it was stuck at like 34 views. And now it gets like 300 a month, minimum. And it gets funny comments and stuff. It's like it's a comical review with a lot of like Soviet communist puns and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. Not really about travel. Performs well for me. So, you know, something to think about. It's like, you know, let the audience decide what really works sometimes, and just try to have some fun with it. As long as you're getting something creatively out of it, you're having fun, it's fulfilling for you, then whether or not the video does well, it was worth the time. And that's why, you know, my video where I was talking about like why I travel, or, you know, other videos that haven't done particularly well, they were enjoyable for me. It was maybe therapeutic or cathartic to talk about, or maybe I just really enjoyed making it. Like, I had a lot of fun making a how to get ready for Gen Con video, where I was at Gen Con in Indianapolis in 2019, and a friend's wife said to me something about like, wow, I really wish these people would take showers before they came here. And I hadn't even really noticed anything, but I was like, maybe there's a funny tutorial video. So I made a funny video in the hotel room where it's like, oh, you know, pick out your underwear, and I throw underwear on the bed, and you know, I do some funny stuff. I had a lot of fun making that, and the people who run Gen Con actually tweeted about it. It only got maybe like 600 views or something, I think. I forget. And so it wasn't like on my channel, if it gets less than 1,000 views, it's not really sort of a view success. But I had so much fun making it, and it was a hoot for me. And so for me, it was a success of a different kind. Success can be defined in a lot of different ways. 20% of my viewers use captions. Definitely worthwhile. Yeah, 100%. 20-minute build video to caption. Yes, I hate the breaks. Yeah. For whatever reason, editing the description pre-upload is kind of buggy for me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have the same problem. And so once it goes live, then I go back and I fix it. That time it'll save perfectly. I'm curious what browser aids you're using when you upload, because I'm wondering if it's like a Firefox thing. Because I use Firefox almost 100%. I'm wondering if maybe that's what it is. Maybe if I switch to Chrome, which I don't want to do, it would be better. I don't know. What are the channel requirements to use chapters? None. Just do it. No requirements whatsoever. Just put it in your description and you can do it right away. TubeBuddy always says that I don't have info cards, even though I do. Yeah, that drives me nuts. It's been like a year that's been going on. I would like it if they fixed it. In the YouTube dashboard, I see if eligible in the chapters thing. Oh, interesting. I don't know about that. That's weird. I haven't seen that. I don't know what the eligibility requirement for chapters would be. I didn't know there was one. Might need to look into that on my own time. Let's see. Should put more effort into tags. I just find the single most tedious part of the process. And that's where TubeBuddy can be really helpful. Even if the free version just gives you 3, I find that those 3 start prompting me to think of others. And another trick, I think the free version does this as well. As you start typing the tags, it might autocomplete. And sometimes those autocompletes, I'm like, oh, that's a better idea. And so, yeah, I find that makes it faster and easier. And so that can help with the tedious, and even the free version. I mean, you get the paid version, it gets even easier and faster. But at the very least, help yourself that way. Oh, when everyone was freaking out about COPPA stuff. Yeah, everybody added that disclaimer, and it didn't help anybody. Been meaning to get rid of it. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. A little reminder. For the expert and the layman. I like that. Stupid Robot Fighting League. Enjoyable for the expert and the layman. Could you do mine? Unfortunately, I put myself back in the queue for a channel review. Don't know if I'd be next or not. I'm kind of tired. Maybe I'll squeeze you in. I don't know. I like to pin hate comments when I get them. One of my most popular hate comment was able to get 70 replies, more free engagement. Interesting strategy. I mixed feelings. As an engagement hack, I respect that. The only concern I would have with doing that, a couple concerns. One, I mean, it kind of gives a platform for jerks. But two, and this is my greater concern, is that if a brand was coming to do business with me and they decided to see what the reaction was in the comments, that might not make a great first impression. So there's a bit of a trade-off happening there, but I respect that choice. Interesting strategy. Let's see, where was I? I've learned new stuff watching your live streams. Awesome. Thanks, Game Time. Lovely to hear it. Glad you're here. Someone said, you aren't an actor. My response was, you're so right. I'm not. I live in Indiana. Really? That's awesome. My family jokes about maybe moving there one day because, like, the housing prices are pretty reasonable. But, yeah, so have you been to Gen Con, Indianapolis? And do you know Mario Marathon? Mario Marathon's out of Indianapolis as well. That's how I got my first taste of Indianapolis. And then they talked me into going to Gen Con. And so they are lovely, lovely people. Hoosier hospitality is a thing. For someone else that asks me, can you add an intro to a live stream after the fact? I don't think so. You can trim it, which I do, because like at the beginning of this live stream, I have my title screen up, my waiting screen. I'll show you quickly here. It looks like this. And I have music playing in a loop as I do my social sharing and get my last minute preparation done. And so what I do afterwards, if I remember and have the time, is I go in and I trim that part out at the beginning. But I don't think you can add something after the fact. So to do something like that, I don't know, we could experiment right now. Because I'm just using OBS here. No capture. Media source. Ooh. Intro. Let me try something here. This is an interesting idea. I'm going to browse. I'm going to go find my... Made by PlaceIt, which I think I have... I should have a link in the description. It's an intro that I made on PlaceIt. It took me like 5 minutes. But it is... I like it quite a bit. Intro 2021. Open. I don't know what's happening here. I'm very curious about tips. Okay. Care to be more specific, Achilles? Anytime, dude. How's things going on your channel going? It's okay. Revenue and viewership is down on Vacation Impossible, but that normally happens when September rolls around, because it's a travel channel. People stop thinking about travel so much in September. Starts to pick up again towards Christmas break. And vacation or Small YouTubers Boost, I haven't done a lot on recently, so it's been kind of waning over the last couple months, but hoping to get it kind of back and going again. But you know, it's for the Vacation Impossible thing, it's pandemic stuff mostly. So I'm just rolling with it. You know, we were doing pretty good. We were pulling in about $150 in AdSense every month right before the pandemic hit. I had just figured out like the perfect way of doing it. I had a formula and a process, and it was going gangbusters for like 2 or 3 months, and things were taking off. Pandemic hit, dropped from like $150 a month to like 30. And so over this summer, it got back up to around 100 a month, and now it's back down to like 60, 70. And it's just an easy metric. It's not the most important thing to me by any means. And views are kind of weird and all over the place. So that has more trend lines that are easy to analyze. And that's why I'm using it as a metric. So, you know, I'm patient. I'm not going anywhere. The YouTuber that sticks around is the one who wins, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm waiting it out, and I'm trying to find things like this to do with my time that can hopefully help people waiting for the world to open up again. Let me out of my country. I add interest to my streams. You make a video and put them on OBS. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Let me give this a try. And so then it comes back to me. Cool. All right. There we go. that was a cool idea, and it was easy to do. OBS is fairly intuitive with a lot of things. So that's my intro that I made with PlaceIt. It took me 5 minutes. Pretty sure there's a link down below. It's an affiliate link, but it also has a discount built in that'll save you 15%. So there you go. Just remember to push on through and have fun with it. That's how you do it. And, well, that's the thing, too, right? And so, like, for my travel channel, we went to Edmonton on a road trip. As much as I'd rather be on cruise ships, and those do better for me, higher CPMs, higher view rates, higher engagement, just better visuals. It's awesome. A road trip to Edmonton is not quite the same, but, you know, like, we found a wheelchair-accessible waterfall that you can go to, which is kind of cool. And so I had been for years saying, like, oh, I should highlight more local things. Oh, what's this? I'm getting a notification from my Ring. Someone was at my back door. Oh, never mind. Just a drop-off. Anyways, and so I've been saying for years, I want to show more things around Vancouver, around British Columbia and Alberta and stuff. And so the pandemic's kind of forced me into, you know, keeping my word on that and doing it. And so I feel good about it from that dimension. But I know, and it's funny because, like, someone will come to my channel and they'll see my most recent video of, like, a deer in Jasper with, like, 36 views or something. And they're like, your channel sucks. And I'm like, I'm not on my A game here. And that's the thing. People are lazy, and I try to appreciate that, but they don't look at the breadth of the channel before calling me names, and that kind of sucks. But you know, it's character building, right? We'll all come out of it better. Someone keeps asking me about how to do that, and I keep saying I don't know because I don't do live streams at all. That's totally fair. Maybe I can do a guest tutorial for you, and you can just be like, check out this video. I don't know. Okay, so. Anyways, I wanted to do a channel review for Steel Cranium because they want to travel and I want them to travel. Okay, so the picture is it's kind of a grayscale picture of the person with the backwards hat and the cans on and a microphone. So my first thought is this is a music channel. Maybe it'll do covers. My second thought is if it's not that, it could be a podcasting channel. The person's eyes are closed, which makes me think that they're emotionally invested in the music or they're listening carefully to harmonize or something. So I think music much more likely than podcast. Also, given sort of it's like a leather cap, kind of the look makes me think more rocker than podcaster, but that's sort of my initial impression. And so, yeah, no, that matches the picture in the chat. Okay. Ugh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. No. Oh, wait. I forgot to start the clock. Whoops. Phone's being finicky. Okay, there it goes. So remove hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It doesn't help you, there's no SEO value. You're using and wasting valuable space at the beginning of your channel description, which will show up in search results, not just on YouTube, but on search engines as well. So don't waste it. I love to sing and react to music I've never heard before. That is perfect. Say that. Start with I love to sing and react to music I've never heard before. Fantastic. And then you can pivot from there to maybe say more. Something that might entice people. In a way, it's actually good when it cuts you off because people might be like, wait, what's the end? I have to know. A little tricky, but maybe not a bad idea. 122 subscribers, so hopefully you have a custom URL, 59 videos. Let's dive right in. Let's make Channelytics go away. It had its time. Okay, so this is interesting. So your banner, I mean, it's a cool design, but it's a little, I kind of want to say generic, but generic is not the right word. It's a little generic in the sense that it doesn't really like evoke thoughts of music for me. I mean, I guess it could look a little bit like records, but not really. Like you'd need like some lines or a dot in the middle, although we don't see this in the middle of the red circle. But it looks like it could be anything. Like a gamer could use this. Small YouTubers Boost could have something like this as their banner. This could be anything. I mean, I don't think it would be arts and crafts or a makeup channel, but I think that it might be maybe like a tech channel or something like that in terms of the aesthetic that's being achieved. So it's a nice design. It looks fine for the most part. It's just, I don't know that it really evokes what you're about. And so even something simple like adding some sort of picture, maybe in the blue space just to the left and up of Steel Cranium, a microphone or, a speaker or something might might kind of give it a little bit more meaning in that sense. I don't know. It almost looks like a standby screen for a live stream. You know, it's like a loading screen almost. Instead of covers, reactions, and more, it might say loading, and like something might go across these lines here. So just something to think about. But you know, you say covers, reactions, and more. So covers is good, reactions is good. The and more, I'm not really sure about. I think that if you took off the and more and it was just covers and reactions and centered, it would stand out with a slightly cleaner look. Don't be afraid of white space, or I guess in this case red space. It might pop a little bit better. That's just a thought. But it's pretty good on the whole. Yeah, I mean, one thing you could do is maybe put your profile picture in one of these circles, but I don't think it would really work with the placement. So, I mean, there's no consistency, admittedly, between your profile picture and your banner. You know, color-wise or image-wise. So, I mean, there's that, but, I mean, it's probably fine. Let's check out your social links here. We got Twitter. Okay, well, that's not right. It seems to be linking to something that doesn't exist. Do you have a Twitter account? Or are you just planning on doing this in the future? Let's see. Is it case sensitive? Shouldn't be. Is it spelled differently? I think I still have that on my clipboard. Huh. Okay, you inverted the words. Okay, so you linked it to say cranium steel, but apparently your account is steel cranium, so you're going to want to fix that. That might explain the 0 followers, or it might be part of it. Anyways, you've got a link to your channel here. That is not a custom URL, so if you do have a custom URL, you're going to want to update that. Also, I have a tutorial here on this channel about what I call a Twitter profile audit, where it will take you through a series of like 6 or 7 steps where you can make sure that your profile is fully set up and optimized, and that's sort of one of the things that I talk about there. And so, yeah, if you don't have a custom URL, get one, and then update this to it. And also, you're going to want to fix this link so it goes to your actual Twitter. Let's check your Instagram link. Instagram link is good. My name is Alexander, and I do vocal covers. Here's my channel. Again, a custom URL would look more professional here. People would be more likely to click it. So that's fine. 22 followers there. Cool, cool. Facebook, please don't be to your personal page. Oh, it's a page. Good, not your personal account. That's good. I didn't think it would, but you never know. So that's fine. That's good there. And again, channel link, you're going to want that to be a custom URL to look more professional and more likely that people will click on it. When they see a string of characters, their eyes just ignore it and they look somewhere else. There's a link to YouTube here. It's a channel link. It's a different channel. It doesn't have the subscriber thing built in. 86th YouTube. What's this? I should have known it. Debut song. So this would appear... I was going to say a band, but then... Oh yeah, maybe. So maybe this is a band called 86th. Maybe you're in the band. And that's entirely possible. If that's the case, that's fine. This channel has a lot of work that it needs. That needs to be set up. And that was only posted 4 days ago, so that looks like a new endeavor for you. I guess it's a pretty new channel. Yeah. Yeah, started 4 days ago. So, I mean, given that you've set up this channel, you know, well, in some respects, I leave you to do that stuff on the other channel as well. So, if that's like your band or another project you're on, having that there, totally fine. Not a problem. You may wish to consider the old sub-confirmation trick, where you can put the URL so that when someone clicks on this, it immediately pops up and says, do you want to subscribe to this channel? That's up to you. It's not necessarily a great thing, because it might feel like a bit of a, like, you want me to subscribe before I see anything. So it might feel kind of like a dick move, but it might work too. I don't know. So that's a decision you can make for yourself and sort of the tone that you want to set for your channel. Let's take a look here. So you got your popular uploads, which is cool. You might also want to consider regular uploads. You can put it at the bottom. It's just a place where someone who goes to your channel can find the most recent stuff. Like, for example, I really like Roberto Blake. I'm a big fan of his. And when I want to go see his new videos that may or may not show up for me, and I go to his channel, it's like, screw it, I'll click over here. And this is how I find the new videos. That's a little bit of extra work, and I do that because I love Roberto. If I didn't love Roberto, I'd probably not bother. So as much as he's genius, and I, agree with him on like 98% of the things he says, I think having a popular uploads is useful so that people can quickly come and find your new stuff. I mean, not popular uploads, recent uploads. It's just called uploads, actually. So I would consider having it. I think it would be good. Would round things out. This list of lists isn't working for you because it looks like you only have 3 playlists. Yes. And I'm not a fan of lists, because then they got to click, and then they got to click again before a video really plays, depending on where they click, of course. And so personally, I think just having playlists that go across. And so reactions should definitely be a playlist, and vocal covers should definitely be a playlist, because those are the 2 core things that you are about. I don't think Collabs is ready for prime time yet, because it's only got 2 videos. So instead of this list of lists, I would have reactions and vocal covers each their own list. Shorts is interesting. I think this is good, the way this is set up here. And you've got a pretty good thumbnail for a short, and that's something that I struggle with. Although I would be curious to see how this looks on mobile, because you'd probably only see the middle third of that thumbnail on the shorts shelf, and I'm not sure that would be great. Other than that, it's solid. But that's something to think about with that thumbnail design. And so I have covered a lot of things today. Not wanting to retread the same ground, let's talk about thumbnails, because I haven't spent a lot of time talking about thumbnails. So there's some good things going on here, and some things that I have recommendations on. For one, in 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit, let's say 4 and a tenth, 4.1, of these thumbnails, your time code is covering up part of the text in your video. So that's not great. Goat, I'm assuming that's reaction. I'm assuming Scar's reaction. Reaction is covered up. Reaction. It's pretty consistently covering up reaction. So what I would recommend doing is just flipping where you have your text from the right side to the left side. And it looks like if you were to move it to the left side, it would only be covering up the back end of your microphone. And it looks like the back end of your microphone is where the USB plugs would, in theory, go in. So maybe it's a wireless mic and it's just charged, or there's another connection that's going up along the arm or something. But looking at the microphone, it looks like it's not plugged in, which makes me think, like, what's going... I mean, that white thing could be a barcode or the brand, but it also looks like it could be a plug, and it looks like it's a USB plug above the white thing. So... it's a little weird in that respect, because it looks like it's not plugged in. It's like, is this a staged photo? What's going on with that? I don't think most people would think of it, but the point I'm making here is if you were to move the text from the right to the left, you would just be covering up that part of the microphone. So you're not obscuring, I think, an important part of the image. So I think that would be fine. And I noticed that you seem to have on some of these what I think is album art or single art or maybe the band logo on the right-hand side. Because it's elevated, you don't need to move that too. And so it would balance the image where you would have the text on the left and the logo or the cover art on the right. I think it would keep it visually engaging. I think that's fine to do. I like the text. The text is using a fairly consistent font. I like the slight gradient you've got on there. I know that when it comes to logos, the modern trend is to have flat logos, like in your banner, and that's fine. But I like the subtle gradient showing on these thumbnails. So even though that goes against some design trends, I think it's the right thing to do. I like it. I like the font. So that's pretty cool. I think that having a little tiny bit more consistency, because we've got presumably the name of the song and then the word reaction underneath for this one, but then not Rotten Apple reaction. But again, for satellites. So what I would recommend doing is make the Rotten Apple one look more like the others, because then... and also, it doesn't look like it's the exact same font as the others. You'd have better consistency of the thumbnails. And I think that looks professional. And so I really like the text. Just pop it to the left and do it consistently for those reactions. Now I notice that your most recent reaction, or no, your most popular reaction actually, has a different kind of thumbnail style, which is interesting. And so that is your most popular video. One thing that you might want to do is look at your CTR and see what is really resonating. Because I notice you're also putting colored borders around these thumbnails, and that's not a bad thing, but they seem inconsistent. We've got red, white, green, white, blue. And so is there a reason, a pattern, a rhyme or reason behind the color choice? Maybe it denotes a different genre of music, perhaps, or something like that. I don't know. But for consistency's sake, you might want to pick one and stick with it. The red outline reminds me of CNN videos. As well, it can obscure that already watched thing at the bottom. Like, here, let me go to Ace of Vegas for a second. I've probably watched some of his stuff. So, okay, you see, on this playlist with Ace of Vegas, this red bar at the bottom of these thumbnails, that means I've watched those videos. Because I am a fan of Ace of Vegas, and I like his videos. I haven't watched everything. So if I wanted to watch some Ace of Vegas, I come here, and maybe I want to watch something I haven't watched before. I'm going to look for something that does not have the red bar on the bottom. But by having a red outline, I can't tell. And so I lose that functionality, and I don't appreciate that. And that's actually something that I don't like about how CNN puts their videos up. I have trouble telling if I've watched a CNN video before. And I don't want to get into the whole American political media storm of, frankly, in my opinion, craziness that's going on. But there is probably a segment of the population that does not like CNN and would not like that association. So let's not ostracize some of our audience, even if they might be a little bit on the crazy side. I think my opinion might have snuck in there a little. But, so the red outline, red, it catches the eye. And it's a power color, but I think because of the functionality and those associations, I don't think it's the best choice. And so either the white or the green or the blue, those are all pretty good. They have different connotations, though. And so, and this is a crazy thing to think of, but let's think about it, especially if you're going to make any changes to your banner. The psychology of colors. It's going to sound crazy, but hey, if we can use mind control to get more views, let's do it, right? And so there is a psychology behind colors. People associate different colors with different feelings and emotions. So red is generally considered to be excitement, and blue is trust and safety, for example. And you can Google it, and there's articles, and they're fairly consistent on these grounds. And so if you think about it, about major companies and the colors of their logos and the colors they use and they want to associate with themselves. For example, Tums, which I have here because I have acid reflux. Video not sponsored, wish it was. I could use some free stuff. But you'll notice how they have a lot of blue. And so they're trusting you, or they want you to trust them. They want to be trusted to remove your antacid, or your acid reflux. So they're asking for your trust to help you in this kind of medical intervention. That's blue. And so if it was red, that would actually be bad, because red is fire, it's burning, it's the thing that you're trying to get rid of, and honestly, getting rid of heartburn isn't necessarily a thing you're excited to do. I mean, you might desperately want it to happen, but it's not really an exciting moment. And so also blue is associated with cool, cold, calming, things that you would want. So that is why this is blue, which is probably a little crazy to think about. If you think about airlines, is another good place where you can see color psychology at play. So in Canada, we have a provider called WestJet that I'm very fond of, and they do a lot of charitable things. They, I think all of their employees own a share of the company. So there's this, it's about sort of being transparent and trustworthy. And so when you fly, people have anxiety about flying. They don't want to be late. They don't want the plane to go down. They don't want to be mistreated. They, all those different things. And so you'll find a lot of airlines use the color blue. Think United, Alaska, and WestJet, because they want your trust. Other airlines take a slightly different tact. So sometimes they might use a little bit of red because they want, but you'll notice, in my experience, the ones that use red are not appealing to like family or business travel. They're specifically vacations. So they will, like, what is it? Sunwing, I think in Canada, uses red, and they sell flights and vacation packages because they want you to be excited to go on vacation. They're not trying to get the business traveler who wants to go close the sale or the person who's going home to see their family at Christmas necessarily. They want the person who's going to Cancun and who's going to party it up. And that's part of their image and the emotion that they're trying to evoke from their audience. And so the reason that I mention this is what are you trying to evoke? And like, so small YouTubers boost right above my head, I've got that red arrow that I designed. And part of that is to align with the red of YouTube, but also to get excitement. I think people should be excited about posting a video and doing well on YouTube and getting likes and comments and things. And so for me, that's about excitement. On Facebook, I had my animated profile for a while, and I recently switched it. I think I'm using actually my face for a change. I did a little photo shoot at my friend's place. But the background for both of those was blue, because in Small YouTubers Boost, I'm telling people how the fake engagement policy works, or I'm giving advice on thumbnails, or I'm recommending TubeBuddy, or I'm saying which thumbnail is better than the other one, or whatever. And I have some experience. I've done a lot of research. I never call myself an expert because that carries a lot of weight with it. But I want them to trust that I am at least giving them an honest opinion. And so I made a conscious choice for a blue background to try and kind of do that. Also because it upsets me when people attack my credibility and call me a liar. So I'm like, let's try to increase trust and I won't get mad at people. It's kind of one of my buttons. And so those are just two colors. And of course, orange and black and other things. Black is often death. Gray and orange don't have a lot going for them, but you can look at different things. And so if you wanted to consider that when looking at the border, and if you want a consistent border color so that people will know in an instant, because at least, hey, say what you will about CNN, I know when there's a CNN video recommended in my feed because it's got that red outline. Same thing for Scott the Woz. He uses blue. Toby Travels, I think, is his channel. He uses a lighter shade of blue background than Scott the Woz. And so, like, in an instant, out of the corner of my eye, I get that brand recognition right away. And so I think your thumbnails are well placed for doing something like that. But if you don't have a consistent color scheme, then you might be missing that opportunity a little bit. And so these are... at 122 subscribers, are people thinking about color psychology and the color scheme of their channel? I don't know. But I tell you this, I think the one that thinks about it's going to do better than the one that doesn't. If you can find a way to make that useful. So that's something to possibly think about. Let's check out the About page for a second here. Okay, I'm the singer for 86th. So... explaining what that is. 86th, a band based in, I don't know, where are you in the United States? Band based in Missouri or something, or Texas, or I don't know where the heck you are. Or maybe the location doesn't matter, but the genre of the band at least could be useful. Is it a pop cover band? Is it an original metal band? What is it? To give a little bit more context as well, that would provide some SEO words. Metal band could be, if that's what you are and what you cover, then you might get a little bit more search traffic by using some of those words. And so this is very short. Again, like I said, kill this opening here. And yeah, I mean, maybe I do vote. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what should come first. The fact that you're the lead singer of a band or that you do covers and music reactions, I'm not sure. It's a choice you can make. You could do like a compound sentence of like, I use my experience as the lead singer of the rock band 86 to do vocal covers and music reactions. You can make like one sentence that gets it all there pretty early on, and then also of course pivoting to why you do it. I think for music it's there's general reasons, but like are you wanting to give people music to party to? Are you giving music for people to relax to? Depending on the genre and stuff like that. And what do you want people to get out of your music? And how do you want them to feel? And when do you want them to play their music? Think about things like that and see if you can distill that into a why statement. I'm going to flash the book one more time again, because I think why is important. Maybe less so for musicians, but it doesn't hurt. Like knowing that the musicians care about things you care about, or finding out that they don't, can sometimes have an impact on your association. So I recommend checking out the Simon Sinek video. It's like the second most ever watched TED Talk, so it's worthwhile. But that kind of thing can possibly be useful because sometimes, and I think even more so with the modern age and social media, music can be a lifestyle as much as anything. And I hate using the word lifestyle as a descriptor because it can mean almost anything. But I mean, country music is kind of a lifestyle. And I mean, it's evolving and it's becoming a little bit more accepting, I think, over time. Old Country Road and things like that you could point to easily as examples of it evolving. But, sometimes it's about a lifestyle and a feeling and a perspective and stuff like that. And so if there's some consistency there in what you cover, great. And if not, that's fine too. But that's just some thoughts you could have before trying to figure out exactly the best way to sell yourself, which is kind of what you're doing. Let's see here. Playlists. Yeah, so those are good playlists. Let's go dive into a playlist here. Let's go look at reactions. So there's no description here for the playlist, so you're going to want to go in and be like, you know, I provide my first reactions to songs I've never heard before. And you could even cite some examples and stuff like that or whatever. So that could help the SEO of both the playlist, but also the individual videos. So that's something to think about. And so do the same. Also, I imagine this probably doesn't have a description. So yeah, you're going to want to go in description there. And collabs, definitely description. You know, I've had the amazing opportunity to collab with some great artists, you know, and make some wonderful music together. And so here is all the collections of these wonderful adventures or whatever. You know, there's a lot of things you can say. And as I mentioned, any of the stuff that I come up with, feel free to use. I give you permission to use the stuff I'm coming up with as we go, if you want to. I also give you permission to completely ignore me if you think I'm crazy in a bad way. That's pretty good. Let's see here. That thumbnail there is pretty cool because yeah, like the time code isn't covering up anything there. So that is another option. You could move the text to the top right. I think bottom left is better maybe, but yeah, it's up to you. But yeah, if these were a little bit more consistent, like you got kind of like a purple-y, like it's so dark blue, it's almost purple. Border there, and so a little bit more consistency might be great. It's pretty good. Let's go see newest. Curious. Yeah, pause. Okay, let's see what we're doing here. Let's add a premiere. You put the hashtags at the top, and you put 4 of them. I recommend limiting the hashtags to 3, because you notice above the title, only 3 appear. And so I would, instead of having 4, I would have 3. And what I would recommend is, because they will appear above the title, unless you have a location on the video, move them to the bottom, because otherwise it's just appearing twice. And what does a hashtag do? It takes you away from the channel. So it's good to have them because it helps get you a micro boost in the algorithm, and that's fine. But I don't think you should use prime real estate in your description for it. So move the hashtags to the very, very bottom is my advice. Hey guys, this is... don't say hey guys. Just say this is my band's new single. For one thing, your audience might not just be guys. I know it's colloquialism, but still, some folks might take offense. You know, somebody on Twitter, somebody who's going to get mad. It's the internet. It's what it does. I should have known it. If you're enjoyed, typo there. I think if you enjoyed it, maybe make sure to share with someone else you think would too. This is interesting. Show some love. You can support the band via links below. We would appreciate the support as we're trying to get our names out there. We're a new age rock band from Columbus, Indiana. Okay. Support us. So you can make this Facebook thing a link rather than being an @ where they would have to go do some searching. I think make that a link is good. And then, yeah, that's the link to the other channel, so that's fine. That other channel only had 3 subscribers, so it doesn't have a custom URL yet, so that's kind of the best you can do there. Looks like you're on SoundCloud as well, which is fine. Cool. Now, what about vocal cover? I'm going to let this run for a second just so I can have something to look at here. Bit of a derp face. Let me fix that up for you. There you go. That's better. Just want to check here. My covers. Nice. Subscribe. Do you have the sub confirmation? Yes, you do. Cool. Let's connect. That's nice. You could probably take the spaces away, or maybe not. It's up to you. Again, too many hashtags. Just do 3. Now, I'm not sure about the rules of covers, so you might need to check this out. But one thing that occurs to me, if you are looking to monetize, there's a couple things. One, we've got a new sponsor in the Facebook group. Facebook.com/group/small YouTubers boost, where you can basically auto monetize your videos even if you're not monetized on the platform. So that's kind of cool. They'll automatically add affiliate links to your videos. But if you didn't want to do that and you wanted to take a slightly more manual approach to it, where you control the links more, you are wearing headphones. You are singing into a microphone. And so you may wish to consider signing up to become an Amazon affiliate, and you could put Amazon affiliate links in here, which might generate a little bit of cash possibly for you. So just a thought there. At 122 subscribers and the view counts I'm seeing, it might be a little early, because when it comes to doing Amazon affiliates, you have to get a certain number of sales within 6 months, your first 6 months, or you get kicked out of the program. So you might want to wait until you think you're at a point where you can get those sales. But it's just something to think about maybe for the future, if and when things start taking off or what have you. Let's see here. Let's check Channelytics and see what's what. Reactions, React, vocal covers, guitar covers, music, comedy, funny, entertainment, vocalist. Okay, some of this stuff is good, but I think we can do a little bit better. For one thing, reactions are a huge genre, and so you are reacting to something specific. You are reacting to music. So instead of just having reaction, I mean, you could keep reaction, you could add, or you could replace, but you could do music reaction as a single keyword with space in between. I know you know how to do this because you got it for vocal covers and guitar covers. And so music reactions could be good to add to that. Vocalist reacts, how about that? That might be, actually I'm kind of curious about that now. Let's see. How would that do? Do a little keyword research here. Unweighted, so it's not about my channel, it's generic. There we go. Vocalist reacts. It gets a very good keyword score, 66 out of 100. So vocalist reacts, I think, would be a good channel keyword. I wonder if there's a way we could also work that into the description. Trying to sneakily think how we can put those two words together organically. This vocalist reacts to musics from, this vocalist reacts to songs from the following genres. Something like that. And then you've got those two words right next to each other, vocalist reacts. You get that in your description, you get that tag in your channel tags, and then you start to get a little keyword alignment on what TUBEBUDDY says is a very good keyword. Vocalist reacts. Something to think about. And I think that is my 30 minutes there. Getting caught up on chat here. Like Geico 15%. Oh, I should do something with that. I make an intro video, like a video about intros on this channel about once a year, normally in January. So maybe in January I'll do like a Geico spoof. That would be hard, but I don't know. I'll think about it. That could be fun. A red-yellow background? Yeah, maybe. For the profile pic, yeah. Definitely more attractive. Red on your banner. A record graphic would be cool. I'd love to know what font you use for your name. Yeah, it's a nice font. That's a good font. I like it. That's my band's new single. Yeah, we just made it. What's your policy on requesting to check out channels, may I ask? Okay, so the way it normally works, I'm closing reviews for today just because it's been a long stream. This is probably one of my longest, come to think of it. We've been live for 3 hours and 20 minutes. So the way that it works during these live streams is I do free channel reviews, but I cap them at 30 minutes, and I go chronologically in chat. So what that means is it's first come, first serve. So to get a free review, what you're going to want to do is subscribe to this channel with notifications on and set to all. Because I don't go live on a regular schedule. I go live when I can find the time. And so if you're able to join us early, and the first thing you should do in chat is say what you want. Please give me a channel review. Please help me get more views to this video. Please help me, whatever. Please show me how to do this setting in YouTube. Show me how to do this thing in Photoshop. Whatever it is you need. Get that in first, and then I go chronologically until I run out of steam or time. That's how that works. Now, if you wanted a channel review that's more than 30 minutes, or I wasn't able to get to you and you want to get that done, there is a paid option. You can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Right now it runs $25 US. That may change in the future as I get busier. And what that gets you is a video on this channel, Small YouTubers Boost. It runs 45 to 60 minutes. And I will do one of my reviews in depth, and I will give you a bunch of action items, specific suggestions, things that you can do to improve your channel. And so you can watch it as many times as you want. You can go back a year later and be like, oh, let's see how I've changed. And I will also include links to your channel in info cards, description, and end screen. So you might get a little bit of traffic as other people might watch that channel review. So those are sort of the channel review options. The connection's up towards the boom arm. Yeah. And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, don't worry so much about that connection thing. I was just saying that means the back of the microphone is not prime real estate in the image, so feel free to use it for something else. I don't think you need to change anything about how you hook up your microphone or how it looks. I am like one of very few people who would have noticed that. And even I don't care, having noticed it. It wouldn't have changed my behavior. The Trip says, hello, everyone. That's a great point about the red outline. I'd not considered that. Yeah. Well, and I actually saw somebody posted in the Facebook group, again, facebook.com/group/all-YouTubers-boost, about how they had put little red lines at the bottom of their videos trying to trick people into them being like, wait a minute, I watched that? Well, maybe I want to watch more from that channel. That was an interesting idea. I don't know that I support that idea in terms of tricking people and stuff, but I gotta give the person points for creativity on thinking about that. I just don't know. Let's see. It's not my color scheme for my channels. I use cyan, but it's good to know for the regular Like It or Not channel. Cool. I find when I see the red outline on a thumbnail, my first thought is that I've already watched the video. Exactly, the Trips. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't think that's a good thing, because then people, like, I've gotten to the point where YouTube has trained my brain so well that I auto-scroll from along anything that has a red at the bottom. I don't even really look at it anymore. Red for stupid robot blood. Yeah, but just don't make it like a solid red that goes along the bottom of your thumbnail, Bob's your uncle. Okay, cool. Thanks. Polka? Polka, polka. What was that from? That's John Candy in Home Alone. R.I.P. John Candy. He's been on live stream for quite a bit, so he might be coming close to an end. Running out of steam. I hear, like, my fridge and my bathroom calling my name. Not necessarily in that order. I'm thirsty, I want a snack, and I need to use the washroom. I'm going to smash stupid robots in the face. It's a family friend. They don't cuss or anything. I guess some Call of Duty gameplay, some beats. Thanks so much for all the great suggestions. I made a lot of changes today. Your feedback was what I was thinking, but good to get unbiased thoughts. Happy to provide another opinion. And yeah. And again, remember, these live streams, I keep them up. So you can go back and you can rewatch if you've forgotten something, whatever. And so feel free to do that. In fact, anyone who's watching this on the replay, comments below, replay. Let's see. You're getting your watch hours today for sure. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. How is Puffy Fluffy Dog doing? That was a fun channel review. That's an interesting question. I'm curious now. Don't go to the bathroom in the fridge. Good advice. Stupid Robot Fighting League always has good advice. Let's see here. Well, they've got some. They've got their popular uploads up top here, and so all the popular uploads have over 1,000 views. This top one here. This is, I think this is since I did the review. I don't remember this video being here. And it has 9,000 views, so I think they're doing all right. That's pretty good. It's a cute channel. That was a fun review. I enjoyed doing that one. That was one of the paid reviews I did. And so you can watch the review of that on the channel here. But I think with that in mind, with apologies to... what was it? Retro Gauge or 95? Renegade 95. My voice is starting to go. I've been talking nonstop for over 3 hours. So with apologies, I think we're going to kind of wrap things up here today. But thanks so much for tuning in. I was glad that I was able to do one of these again for a change. It's been a long time. I don't know when I'll be able to do it again. So like I said, subscribe with notifications on so you can join us early in any future live streams. It's when my... Oh, thanks for understanding there. And yeah, cool use of the Canucks logo. As an old school hockey fan, I appreciate that. But hopefully we can get you next time. So have those notifications on. We can join you. I also, we're on Twitter. So that is YouTubers_boost. And so I tweet about it when I go live. So that's another way you can get notified if you prefer that. And we've got the page as well where we share things. 3 hours is a marathon stream. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I see these other streams and Roberto Blake and people, they go like 4 and 6 bloody hours. And I'm like, how did you not die? And it's funny though, because the Mario marathon goes for like 5 days, but like I do shifts, and because I'm the junior member, I often do the midnight shift. And so you said contact you on Facebook for a paid review. Yeah, absolutely. You can just send me a message. I get about 100 messages on Facebook every week, so it might take me a little while to get back to you, but I generally do messages Monday to Friday, depending. But yeah, just send me a message. I'm Ray R. I'm the administrator of the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group, or you can message the page, Small YouTubers Boost. We can connect that way if you like, whatever works, and we can work something out. My turnaround time is normally about 1 to 3 days once payment's received, so that's how that works if anyone's curious about getting a paid review. And also I do, consulting if you like. But thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. This was fun. Since I am the creator of Vacation Impossible, I like to give you a mission at the end of these broadcasts. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to ask yourself the question: if I woke up tomorrow morning with 3 million subscribers, what next? And what would I regret? What would I regret at 3 million subscribers? What am I not ready for? Am I ready for 3 million subscribers tomorrow? Do I not have any way of monetizing anything? Do I have no affiliate links anywhere? Do I have too much personal information out there that I don't want 3 million people having access to? Am I ready to take advantage of a giant success if it were just to happen to come my way? So that is your mission if you choose to accept it. First, get paid the first from YouTube, so I'll contact you. Perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. Excellent. And so, yeah, if you were to become an overnight success, are you ready to do that? And are you ready for imposters and stuff like that? So thanks so much for watching. And don't forget to check out the other videos on this channel. I've got that new channel setup video, which covers some of the stuff we talked about today, but with I actually show you where to click to make it happen. The Twitter profile audit, where you can look at your Twitter profile, make sure it's fully set up and optimized. I got a trilogy of videos on SEO, search engine optimization. Are you optimizing your titles, your descriptions, and your keywords for SEO? Go find out. Go watch the video and I'll tell you. And I also have a video about motivation. If you are struggling to take the next step with YouTube, if you just can't be bothered, how can you get out of that state? I find myself in that state often. Over the last couple of months, I've been feeling that a little bit more than usual, honestly. And so that video will have some tips and tricks about how you can take that first step so that you can get the game rolling again and get motivated on YouTube. So thanks so much for watching. This was a blast. We'll see you next time. And in the Facebook group, this live stream will self-destruct 5 seconds. But you can still watch it later.